Welcome to Tuesday Nights. I'm your host, MC Toon. Ryan Cooper said, welcome to the Temple of Toon. No, don't call it the Temple of Toon. Please no. You can call it Tuesday Night. That's fine. But welcome. I have, it's not a debate. It's a discussion of some sort with Jaren. But Jaren has, he has to be driving. He has to be doing something. He pushed it back a little bit. But I have a stop at the end. So I thought, well, I'll start early. I'll do all the the stuff I do afterwards. I'll do it before. What about that? So, oh, it's not, did I say it's Tuesday night? It's not, it's Thursday. It's been a busy week. The Tuesday was the 4th of July. So if you're in not America, you might not quite recognize that as our Independence Day, which, you know, and to celebrate that, we blow stuff up in the sky. It's pretty awesome. I do like fireworks. I mean, I do. So anyway, Jaren will be joining, or I'll be joining Jaren in a little while. We have a thing set up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you, I'll ask it again. Don't go over to his channel and go over there and be a dick. Don't do that. Let people like Santos and Oakley and, you know, some of the horrible people that have been on here, let them be the horrible people. You rise above. So, and if you're going to go over there, well, be a nice person. But consider yourself an emissary of Toon. And I like to be nice. Jaren and I, we get along. So please get along with Jaren's live chat, please. So Dave Kircher said, thank Hidikaka, it's Thursday. Thanks for that. Oh yeah, so Jaren has it on subscriber only mode. Oh, geez. I asked him about a few things, like why does he do members only? Why does he change the visibility of stuff? And he has a few reasons. I'm like, it kind of sucks, but whatever. Oh my gosh, Chris Fun, who's Lael, calls himself Super Flurf, but he's not a Flurf. Or the king of all Flurfs? What do you call yourself, Lael? Chris Fun says, this super chat is to officially set up the Temple of Toon. No. I don't know if it's Echo Chamber. I know some of what he does is to, I'm cleaning my glasses, is to, you know, stay in control of the stuff. I don't know, whatever. I don't remember. Anyway, so, jeez. So, if you were not there, last night, several of us got together at Lucky's 13 Pub in Bloomington, Minnesota. Had a little meetup. It was nice. It was a good time. We stayed there until basically the restaurant locked the doors, and I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And it was kind of cold. July in Minnesota, and it was cold. It was a little unusual. So anyway, Jaren and I, we have a structure of for our discussion. Each of us is going to have three 5-minute points. The other person gets a short time to respond, and that's it. It's going to be quick, kind of a little rapid fire. I have my stuff prepped right here. Actually, this, I'll give you a little more. You know, this is my notebook. So, yeah, Brenda was gonna maybe try to get there, but it was a bit long of a trip on the bus. So, all right, page 1. You didn't see? You can't see. Page 2. Too fast for you, right? You have to go pause it. Page 3. There it is. There's the preview. My phone thought I was talking to it. I'm not talking to you. No, stop listening. So anyway, we've shared our topics. My topics are evidence for the shape of the earth. His are not, which is fine. Um, oh my gosh. Chris Fun, you need to stop that. Chris Fun, again, super chat says this super chat is the first super chat. It's actually the second now to start the GoFundMe to set up the Temple of Tune. What would that be? What would it be? With, you know, 8, 2, 3, 5 pallets that are thrown out on the side of the road and put together into a sort of cubish shape. There you go. Sean Hawkins, if you make a claim, you have to defend the claim. Well, it's a good point. It's a good point. I know he doesn't like some of the things on my website. And you know what? I gotta say this. If you're on Facebook and you post stuff, you know, they're like, flirts get on there, they make demands. Just show me the curve. And you send them something that's, you know, you send them a link. They don't even go. They don't even look at it. Like, you asked for it. I sent exactly what you asked for, and then you didn't look. That's called sea lioning, right? Jaren has gone over my website. He's sending me stuff. He's like, what about this? What about this? What about this? I'm like, Jaren, you're the only one. I mean, some others have, but very few flat earthers will actually go and look at my website. And that is to their great detriment, right? If they demand evidence and then refuse to look at evidence, it shows how dishonest they are inside, right? They don't care about truth. If you ask for something and it's given to you and you don't go look at it, obviously you don't care for truth. You refuse to look. So, he's done that. So he gets credit for that to me. And so, and nobody likes their stuff. You know, it's not comfortable to have somebody go and comb over your things and try to pick it apart. But I'm like, awesome, do it. I was talking with somebody the other day who did submitted a paper and it's a refereed paper. And he's like, it all got kicked back. Everything out. So he's like, yep, that kind of sucks. Yeah, it does. So it's to peer review, and you know who I'm talking about. Flat earthers don't understand peer review, or science deniers don't. They're like, you're just paying somebody to agree with you. No, you're not. Peer review is you're paying somebody to tear your stuff apart. That's what they're doing. And unless they find nothing, right? But if they can, I would. If I was a reviewer, I'd be like, let's rip it up, right? That's what I think people want. Anyway, so, I see Spin. Can you show him image compression flat edges in Ibiza? Well, that's one of the things. That is absolutely one of the things. So, Deus Ex Tomato, I'd love to see it. Hey, naughty. Oh, Mikey Smith. Mikey Smith says, show me your own proof of curve. You do it with your phone. Yes, I have shown it many times, Mikey Smith. It's on my website even. Mikey, go ahead, Mikey. Do what, I don't know, very few flat earthers have done. Go to my website. Go find my own, the photo I took of showing the curve on the website. On my website. It's there, Mikey Smith. Will you? Probably not. Probably not. But Mikey Smith, once, I keep asking Mikey Smith, you can come back. You can come back, next Tuesday, maybe. You bring your own evidence, right? Bring your measurements. I would love to see that. Bring your own SpaghettiOs, of course, Mikey. Love your SpaghettiOs. Uh-oh. Let's see here. We got Bill Tetley has been a member for a month at Einstein. Says, thank Titicaca. It's Thursday. I'm going to enjoy listening to this while playing Dave the Driver. Hashtag Bancho Sushi. There you go. I don't know what Dave the Driver is or Bancho Sushi, but I do like sushi. So there you go. Deus Ex Tomato for $2 says, my first unworthy tithe to the Temple of Tune. Stop it! No Temple of Tune. Oh my gosh. Look what you started. It was Orion. Orion started it. Ryan, whatever. Chris Fun says, can the Flurps join the Temple of Tune? No, nobody can. It's not. I don't. Judy talking to Manny Karen. Insults that don't upset YouTube will not upset me. Yeah, I don't mind if a flat earther's in here being a horrible, nasty person. I want it forever embodied in the live chat here, so that people can see how horrible the flat earthers can be. So there it is. Ryan Cooper says, I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's getting out of control already. I think maybe it's just Chris Fun Layout doing it. So Toon Raiders. See, there you go. I like that, says to Stu Pedasso. Pedasso? Says Toon Raiders. What West Side Girl Reacts says, whatever happened to Joey Rocha? Joey's still out there. We exchanged. Well, he doesn't have a Facebook account that has his name on it. He uses his wife's account. So I messaged him through that account. Like, he uses it. It's not like she's not using it. It's him using it. He wants to do a chemtrail debunk. Right? He's a flat earther that doesn't believe in chemtrails. He's a flat earther that doesn't believe in Mandela effect. He's, for some reason, he's one of the small numbers of flat earthers that don't have the associated stuff that's just all rolled in. So good for him, but he wants to come on to do a debunk of it live sometime. Well, okay, that will be weird, but we'll make that happen. So anyway, let me check here, man. So yeah, I have 3. Jaren has 3. We've exchanged them. So one of his has been identified by the crowd here. What do you think my 3 will be? Let me see that. Professor Phil Bell wonders, is Jaren on his way? Yes. So Jaren had to move back an hour because he's driving somewhere. He's going to a vacation place for a few weeks, and I'm like, we can do it a different time. He's like, no, we can do it tonight. But then he said, well, we need to move it back, so that's fine. So about 45 minutes from now, and I'm like, should we cut it short? And we'll see if he wants to shorten our template a little bit. But we probably will do another one. He's like, we'll do another one. So I don't know if Jaren is going right now. So he did initially had a video scheduled for immediately before this one. So I don't know. Maybe he is doing that one or not. I don't know. Does he use GPS in his car? He does. And the GPS is one of the things he thinks is wrong. He's like, they hid everything using GPS. Like, well, yeah, but GPS outputs the same thing as latitude, longitude that celestial navigation has done for centuries. So they couldn't like embed something in GPS because it gives the same results as celestial navigation. So celestial navigation and just the idea of latitude, longitude has to be wrong somehow. I don't know how. So even if It's not. But even if it was, people say it's flat earthers claim it's ground based. That wouldn't help actually, because the coordinate system still doesn't work. Because you can go to Australia or any place anywhere sufficiently south of the equator, and you can measure the length across a line of latitude. So go 15 minutes of arc, or a full degree of arc, right? So you go from the 0 line of longitude to the 1 line of longitude, south of the equator. Of course, that's in the ocean, so you have to do it somewhere else. But and then you measure that. Just go measure that. Is that more or less than the same amount of arc at the equator? At the equator, it's 60 nautical miles. So if the Earth is a dirt pizza, then it has to be more than 60 nautical miles. But it's easy to measure whether or not it's more or less than 60 nautical miles. So how could it be hiding? That's what I want to know, to somebody that just kind of hand waves away and says, how could the, here's Australia, right? That's all skewed, right? And so you could easily just go and say, well, let me go at some line of longitude, let me go a full degree, follow the line of latitude, go a full degree and see, was that 70, 80, 90 nautical miles, or was it 40, 45? We know the answer. Flat earthers know the answer. So how would they hide that stuff? Because your longitude maps to sunrise time, to local solar noon time, to sunset time. All of these things are based, you can look at it based on where the sun position is, based on where star positions are. They all match a consistent 15 degrees per hour. Nobody even argues that. So how could they, they have to suggest that there's some magical way that it fits on the land, but then they're magically skewing things over the water somehow. I don't know how they would do that. But of course, long distance flights still work. Shipping still works. I don't know. Anyway, what's the majorcation of the Temple of Tune? Oh my gosh. Raiders of the Lost Tomb. That one's fine. Let's do that. All right. Chris Fun says, can Brenda join the Temple of Tune and be a priest in the Temple of Tune? No. Nobody can. Jeez. Glober Mom says, Kalima, hey you guys, hail Sagan. Thanks, Glober Mom. I don't know what Kalima is. Kalima? I don't know. Am I missing something? I don't know. I'm sorry. Adam Lapine says, looks like Jaren did not do his last stream either. That makes sense. If he's like, he had to drive to this other place, so he has several hours of driving to do. So, it's an Indiana Jones reference, says Garrus. Okay, Temple of Doom. I get it. The Temple of Tune, Temple of Doom. Go Raiders of the... I don't know. Fairy Muff says, Mikey Smith is the best flat earth Karen. Titicaca. He is a bit of a Karen. Are you still there, Mikey? He is very much. When he was on, oh my goodness. He got so worked up. I loved it. Wintertop says, hello from Montreal. Well, hello to you too. I love this. Keith M's been a member for 3 months, says, thank Titicaca for the scrotum frog. Yes, the scrotum frog. How is that? It's so, I love that. You look it up. There's a rare breed of frog that's almost exclusively in Lake Titicaca, and it's called The scrotum frog. Chris Fun, oh my gosh, again says, can Neil deGrasse Tyson be head high priest in the Temple of Doom? I don't like him a whole lot. He puts his foot in his mouth and he makes it too easy. But Icy Spin says Magic Uncut ISS tour, please. That would, I don't think we don't quite have time for that, but that would be really, yeah, it's over 50 minutes. That would be great to do sometime just to review it live. Yeah, because what did Level Earth Observer ever review it? I saw he had a video, but I don't know if he reviewed it. Manny Karen says, I think we need to deduct some of MC Toon Live's nerd cred for not knowing Kalima. You may make that withdrawal. Go right ahead. Let's see. There he is. Where's your info for curve picks? It's on my website, Mikey boy. Come on, Karen, Mikey. Go to my website. Go find the picture I took with my own phone when I was on an airplane. Go do that. Go ahead. Martin H says, oh, so Level Earth Observer says he got 15 minutes into it before deciding it was all tosh. Though he had no reputation of it. He couldn't address it. It just hurt his precious dirt pizza too much. And he had to stop the pain. Sounds legit. So Jaren is not here yet. Global Mom says Leo Level Earth Observer did do his review which was promptly ripped apart by Global Mom and Where's Wally? I mean, he knows he doesn't have anything. That's why he didn't want to do it. Right? Level Earth Observer, you knew that you couldn't actually address that video. That's why you pretended like you were going to put it up for a vote for the people on your channel, thinking that they would vote no. That's what you were doing, Leo. I know. We know it. We all know it. You didn't want to, and you thought they would. You didn't know your audience, though, did you? Because apparently they said yes. Last I checked, it was leaning towards yes. So you did not actually review the entire thing. So no surprise. Delete Laws says this constitutional laws with a Z scholar like this channel without an S or a Z. You should be put the Z on after likes. So this constitutional laws scholar likes this channel. There you go. You can fix that. PG Tony says, wait, people think Toon is a nerd? I don't know. You tell me. PhD Tony. I don't have the cred you do, PhD Tony. Flat Earth Math. Leo's critique was, cuts. I was promised no cuts. Promised, Tosh. There's no cuts in it. I don't know what he's talking about. Or was he talking because they swapped the cameras? Was that it? I haven't seen it for a little while. There's two cameras. There's one looking forward and one that's inset, right? Let me get it over here. One that's inset, and then they hand it off and they swap back and forth. Is that what he's talking about? Dude, that's desperation there, Leo. The stink of desperation. It's like Pigpen from the Peanuts cartoons. Like Pigpen got that little cloud that goes around him everywhere. That's Leo. And that's that cloud, that's the stink of desperation. That's what that is. So Mikey Smith says he's still looking. I don't care, Mikey. Keep looking. I'm not going to do it right now, Mikey. If you want to discuss it, you can come on. I don't do private showings for you, Mikey. Right? I do public showings. You can come here. Tuesday's open. Are you busy? You're not working. I'm sure of that, Mikey. You're not working Tuesday. I'm working Tuesday, but you're not. So let's do it Tuesday. How about that, Mikey? Oh, I see. Okay, there's a cut where they need to wait 45 minutes for the sun to rise so they can get a nice views from the cupola. Okay. But yeah, I haven't seen it recently enough to remember that. But all they need, this is the important thing, all they need is more than 30 seconds to show that it's not on an airplane doing, parabolic flight. And all they need to do is during those longer than 30 seconds, go through several different areas where you could not possibly have harnesses to show that it couldn't be harnesses. And so certainly all of those things completely happen multiple times in the video. A 1 minute uncut segment. That's all you need. Because there's no parabolic flight that's more than, I think it's 30 seconds. We can confirm that. So, Chris Fun says 5,000. It's 5,000.000. Did you mean 5 million to 1 or 5,000.000 to 1? I don't know, Chris Fun. So anyway, 5,000 to 1 odds, and put the super chat says Jaren won't show. Hail to the Temple of Doom. Jaren will. I'm pretty. Here, he's not a runner like some of these, like the Shane Gold. He's not a runner like Shane. Did Shane? I'm gonna see if Shane ever read. Nope. 2 days later, Shane still has not even read the messages. What a turd. What a turd. Let's see. Hold on. Jiffy Cone says MC Toon is a programmer. He's a geek. Me too. Yeah, I mean, geek is fine. Geek is fine. Manny Karen says, will Jaren bravely run away? Temple of Loon. So I think he messaged me. He said he's doing that. He's moving. He's going, not moving. Like he's traveling. He's not a subset, as far as I know, to a different place. And so then when he gets to the other place, he's got to set up his things and do all this stuff. So Michael Purcell says Leo also claimed that the roof was not actually there and was green screened in later because it was not a live video. Well, certainly somebody that is a video forensics expert would be the kind of person that would have the tools at their disposal and the skill set and expertise at their disposal to actually make that kind of a call, not a zero education crane operator who doesn't know anything about making digital video or analyzing digital video, nothing like that. So his opinion on the matter is completely useless. His opinion on the matter is just as useful as my opinion on how to do crane operating. The proper ways to pick up something using a crane and the proper way to put something, I don't even know the terminology. So his opinion on the matter is just as useful as mine on that topic. So I see Spin says, whoa, this is guesses on Jaren's topics. 1 Ibiza, 2 Mage 2, and 3 don't know. I don't think he's talking about Mage. Let's see. Let me scroll back. See where oh, there it is. Okay. That. Okay. Nope. You got the one. You got the one. Chris Fun says, is Jaren traveling to reality so he can finally join reality? I don't think he's ready for that yet tonight. I don't think he's ready. I don't know. I won't say much more about it. Who has sent a submission to Santos's $10,000 fake challenge and received back a lovely, definitely a lovely promise to pay, right? You have, right? A bunch of people did. But anyway, if you did and you got something other than, oh, hey, cool, let me pay you. If you did not get the, oh, hey, cool, I'll pay you, could you just send me a screenshot of that? I'm going to put it on the website. And I'll, I've seen multiple copies of the pictures that he sent. They're the same pictures. And it is of a very adult and animal nature. And since he's sent the same ones multiple times, he has them in a personal collection on his computer. Think about that. These are photographs that he has sitting on his computer. Just ready to go. Here we go. Let me grab some from my personal collection. So, let's see. For what it's worth, from Martin H., this was the ESA 10-minute single take ISS Grand Tour. Is this a different one? Is this a different one? I don't know. Let me check here. There it is. I'll pull this up. Oh no, this is the one I've seen. It's an hour and 5 minutes, so yeah. It's about I don't know how much of it is uncut. So, anyway. Warren Knob 1000 says water always finds its level. I don't know if that's sarcasm or if this is a flurf that's just received their introductory packet in their first day of flurf summer camp. Bongo Suvio says you said it was impossible to fake and it's clearly not impossible. Who? Why? What do you mean it's clearly not impossible? I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see. We got some a little more flurfkin in here. So Austin Flanagan says, also imagine thinking you could fake GPS signals in the mid-ocean with buoys or balloons. You know, the ocean, well known for having calm currents and calm weather conditions. Yes. Oh, so funny. So Wolfie's here. How you doing? Wolfie says, I'll have to watch later as we're about to head out. Can you ask Jaren if he knew Bob was lying about being a commercial pilot or if he was duped too? I really want to hear how he answers that. I won't get a chance to ask that. We have a structure. But that's a good question to ask him. I know the answer. Extra J says, I'm going to submit my entry to his challenge in the next day or two. I'm sure he'll be kindly asking where and by what means he should submit payment. I'll post results to Discord. Well, thank you. That will be very nice. I'm sure your money will be delivered post haste. Remember, he did not limit the number of entries per person or the number of people. Right? Every one of you can win Santos's challenge multiple times. Pretty much one for every photograph of the Earth. Every real/true photograph of the Earth. Whatever the specific technical definition of that, which he did not provide. But it is ridiculous to see him because obviously he never intended to pay. And if you go read the actual description now, because he's updated the description, go do that. Go to his channel and go read the description. And I don't know. Some people have thought YouTube might not like that on their site and some people have thought that it might violate the terms of service. I don't know if it does or not, but some people have thought that. Chris Fun says, Toon, do you think flurfs have ever thought about why water finds its level? If I remember correctly, Rowbottom spoke about it, and Rowbottom said gravity. Because Rowbottom spoke about gravity. This is Samuel Rowbottom from the late 1800s. He was unaware. I think a lot of people probably didn't really think about it, but unaware that a large enough mass would coalesce into a spherical shape due to gravity. So he mentioned gravity, but people definitely now, flat earthers don't dare mention it. So Icy Spin says 1930s photo over North Dakota. Can't remember the state. It was South Dakota. I got it here. Got it right here. It's the National Geographic. Got the photo. 1936 photo. Right here. So I love listening to flat earthers run from this right here. It's a big photo. It's a high resolution photo. It was on if you look at the picture, they took pictures of the camera that took the picture. It's a giant camera and a huge lens, and I have no idea what specific size the film is, but it's not small film. It's a giant piece of film too. So Mr. Lonely, I'm cooking dinner right now. When will Jaren be here so I can time it all? He's supposed to be here at 9 p.m. Central, so about 20 minutes, a little more. So wow, what is Mikey Smith saying? He's still in here. He's so funny. Where'd he go? I'm looking for it. I see somebody talking to him. Yeah, Fairy Moth says, "Show your hands. Or are you destroying the globe life?" Did Mike mean Dearth or Santos? Well, yes, of course, Dearth's challenge is fake as well. Dearth did not give, how is he going to measure the results? If you don't have a measurement, a way to determine whether, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, how that's not a legitimate way to issue a challenge. You definitely need to have the money in escrow. And if it's not, even if you have the money, if it's not in escrow, you can always just bail, right? If you put the money in escrow, somebody else holds it, and they've been told, pay the winner, then, and I've done that, right? So even if I'm like, I don't agree, it doesn't matter. It gets paid out. So, oh, Mikey, you're still here? You love the show. There he is. Hi, Mikey. Oh, he's hiding. Yeah, it makes sense, Mikey. Tuesday. Send me an email, Mikey. All this big talk. I have very little respect for people that talk but run, Mikey. Okay? I know you're not working. I know you don't have a schedule to keep. You don't have responsibilities. You don't have anything to do. You're not employed. So you don't have anything going on Tuesday night. I'm employed. I got family. I got a bunch of responsibilities. I got a lot of stuff going on. But Mikey, I will make time for you. You can come on here and you can present the measurements of the shape of the earth, Mikey. He's eating SpaghettiOs. You see, Mikey, I like your sense of humor. So, no, it has nothing to do with the shape of the earth that you have no job. It has to do with whether or not you are going to accept coming on to present your evidence about whether or not you have no job. You see, you don't have an excuse to not be here. Best I can tell, you do nothing but dream about your magical flying dirt pizza. So, Proto34 says, I left another comment on Dearth's video asking him to debate you. I'm certain that Dearth did not allow that to be published, because last I checked, it looked to me like all comments on Dearth videos are accept only, like everything's held and only the things that he specifically allows get through. So pretty sure that won't get through. He's one of the best echo chamber people, right? So Santos, he's definitely afraid of anybody, critiquing him. He's deathly afraid. Santos is just super chicken. And so he turns off comments on everything across the board. Because he knows the people that like his stuff don't like how he talks about flat earth stuff. And they call him to task, as they should. And he doesn't like that. He actually just starts swearing and cussing at them. And insulting them and telling them about their mother. His fans, right? That's how he's so horrible. No, let's see. No, you not having a job does mean the earth is a globe. I don't. Keith M, can you have pepperoni on your flying dirt pizza? No, you can only have more dirt on your dirt pizza. Frank Burns says, while we're waiting, you should mod me like you said you would. I never said I would mod you, Frank Burns. All right. What a World says, hey, MC Toon, by your estimation, is it correct that we know the Earth is a globe because your hands are so small? Look how big they are. They totally obscure the screen. Actually, I don't think they're... I've never had anybody accuse me of having small hands. So I don't... But no, it has no bearing. Size of my hands has no bearing on the shape of the Earth. So Indie Tiger Sci-Fi Review says, isn't Flat Earth shrinking due to flatbread pizza? It could be. There's a pizza place owned by a flat earther called Flat Earth Pizza. Ryan Walker. And I message him a little bit on Facebook Messenger every once in a while. He doesn't respond very often. But I'm like, dude, make a Flat Earth Pizza. Make an AE map pizza. Send me a picture. What can I do to make it happen? I'd love to see it. But he doesn't respond. So M. Shedler says, has been a member for 27 months, says Hail Sagan. Thank you. Thank you, M. Shedler. M. Shedler was there last night at the meetup. So Frank Burns says, you most certainly implied it with your tone. How can I imply with my tone that you'd be a moderator? Proto34 says, you're right. I left the comment not even 5 minutes ago and it's already deleted. It probably was never not deleted. It's held. So you can set your videos to approval only. So it goes into an unapproved, there's a view in the comments area where you can see the held comments. And so then you can just go check, and check the ones that you want to allow. And he'll just skip them if you're not his buddy. So Deus Ex Tomato says, I would have been there, but it's like a 22-hour drive. Hey, if it was a 21-hour drive, I would have insisted that you be there. But I get it. It's been 22 hours. It's okay. Austin Flanagan says, a longtime fan here. I'm an actual mechanical engineer, not the Cation kind. I'd love to throw my hat in the debate ring. What's the best way to get involved? Keep kicking Flurf butt. It's strictly a BYOF affair. It's bring your own Flurf. I don't set up debates between them and go recruit a Flurf. It's hard enough for me to get a Flurf every week. I spend more time getting Flurfs to show up here than almost anything else. So that's why I'm asking Mikey. I'm like, hey Mikey, let's make it happen next week. Huh? Me being desperate means it's a globe. Well, if you insist, Mikey. If you insist. I mean, I didn't think so, but obviously that's how you that's whatever, right? But no, actually, Mikey, again, let me remind you, you seem to have not heard it. The point is, you don't have a reason not to come here next Tuesday. It has nothing to do with the shape of the earth that you're unemployed and unemployable and you know, have no schedule and have no responsibilities. None of that changes the shape of the earth, but it does specifically, you know, I'm specifically calling you out. You have no reason not to come next Tuesday or some other time. If you had something going on next Tuesday night because of your busy schedule, right? Then I'd understand. Maybe you'd need another couple weeks to schedule, you know, in your busy planner, to do it. Crashes says, would you be able to host and moderate a debate between me and D. Anton? Yes, I would do that. I don't know who D. Anton is offhand. It's not ringing a bell, but Crashes, yes, I would. So, and who was that? It was Austin Flanagan. I do like to have a conversation with the you know, you before bringing you on, just so I have an idea, you know, who you are and everything. I don't want to just set something up with somebody I don't know. I know Crashes. He's been on here before. So somebody asked, how did I get Jaren to agree? So here's what happened. I did a video on Jaren last year, November, where about the ISS transiting the moon. And he had taken that video down, and so there's that one piece of information. And the second piece of information was he redacted some of the data on the ISS transit, the transitfinder.com data. And I thought that he redacted that data because he knew that you could use spherical trigonometry to identify his house because it was in front of his house. That's where he had his camera and where he tracked the ISS. And I thought that he took the video down because he didn't want to have it up. Like he was, I don't want to have this up on here. But I was wrong. He contacted me, or I came on his show. We talked a little bit after that. We've been messaging on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, and I'm like, well, why did you do that? He said, well, and he showed me how why he redacted that data, because he said you can, you could basically brute force find the location using ISS Transit Finder. So let's see. Hold on. Jaren just messaged me. Says, I'm set up, but not getting the internet to work. I'm plugged directly into a modem. It says unidentified network. I tried ipconfig, release, and renew. I can't troubleshoot Windows networking. I don't do Windows. Just a second. I don't know. Windows networking. So I don't know. It might, we'll see. It might not happen, but we will. It's I don't know. It's a little tight situation here. So anyway, so he showed me how somebody could find his house using Transit Finder if with that information in there, because there's enough information to basically reverse engineer and brute force find it. I thought he did it because he knew that it was spherical trigonometry. I kind of thought that he understood that, but it turns out he didn't understand the spherical trigonometry. So I was wrong about that, and he told me that. I'm like, all right, I'll take down the video. And so I unlisted that video. It's still there, but it's unlisted. So that is what started Jaren and I talking to each other, and we've had a conversation since then. So Um, we've never had a toxic back and forth. We kind of chuckle at each other a little bit. So it's been, if Austin were to come on here, it's dumpster fire at 11 instantly. But I'm like, I don't think Jaren and I will be like that. So Jaren had the tech to join, but it was destroyed. So Jaren is not in his home. So here's what he packed up his whole PC. He got his desktop computer, put it in his vehicle, and drove to this new place because he's staying at this new place for more than a week. So, yeah, let's see. Power cycle the modem. I don't know. I told him to do that. So he tried turning it off and back on again. Basically, that's it. Warren Knob 1000 said, "Are you going to continue to tackle the 5G nuts and Ken Wheeler people?" Well, the 5G nuts are there's just not that many of them, and they won't ever. None of them will come to a debate. If you can find somebody that you think might debate, find me, send a message to me, and then let me go and challenge them. But all of the anti 5G crazy people that were the leaders, they've all kind of quieted down on that because 5G didn't wind up doing all of the things that they said it was going to do. Right? It's not billions of people taking dirt naps. It didn't happen. And it's been deployed. Right? It's difficult to buy a smartphone that does not have 5G in it. It's difficult to be in a city in the United States that doesn't have 5G. High frequency 5G. And the non-high frequency 5G is all over Europe and England, and they're just now beginning to release some of the new frequency stuff. So none of what they said was going to happen has happened. So the 5G thing, I think, is on the downslide, but I did that. My friend Raynard Wilson did that video. It's on my Conspiracy Tunes channel of Mark Steele, who hasn't figured out that there isn't a billion people gone. He hasn't figured that out yet. He's still going on. He's still driving up and down streets saying, "Oh, look at that! Look at that! That one, that's gonna do it." So, all right. Oh, Lord Illuminous Pooh is desperate for me to read his super chat. All right, hold on a second. Lord Illuminous Pooh. Let me find it here. I don't want to keep you hanging here. Where'd it go? Did I miss it? There it is. Okay. I did miss it. Answer everything Jaren says with interesting. All right. When he's typing right now, the response to my power cycle the modem, whatever he says, I'm going to say interesting. All right, hold on. So there is I just chatted the interesting that I'm going to send to him. So I copied it. So those same bytes are going to be reused as I send it to Jaren, just, I don't want to, I don't, whatever. Let's see. Chris Fun says Toon, he doesn't have a job because he tried converting all coworkers to the flat earth. Is that Mikey Smith? I think Mikey Smith has bigger inability to work problems than just that. Doing that now and calling my friend, don't give up yet. This can't be too difficult. Even if we start at 7:30, we can abbreviate, do it again next week. Interesting. Live chat, maybe do it. Well, yeah. All right. I'll give them another half an hour, and then if not, then we'll 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 reschedule. What am I talking about? Says Professor Phil Bell. 5G caused this flat Earth nonsense. They started about the same time. They did. So 3GPP release 15 was in the process during 2014, and then it released in 2015. That's the specification. So release 15 specification of 3GPP protocol is the one that the marketers said, this one we're going to call 5G. They could have not called it that. They could have just said it's just the cell phone network. But there's a handful of new technologies, new techniques, new protocols that are in there. Things that kind of get grouped into being called 5G, but they existed before. So higher frequency really hasn't happened before. It could have. But they included specifications for higher frequencies in the new release 15. This is a little bit, from memory, a little bit toned down in technicality. So don't get too specific and say, no, this is wrong, unless I'm really wrong. If I'm really wrong, then let me know. Anyway, so yeah, the frequencies, the smaller, more distributed towers, that's not a new thing. If you look at the progression from, the first early ones, they had a couple in a metropolitan area, super powerful antennas. Your phone were these giant phones with huge batteries, and they had to send out the signal super strong. And then as they got more and more receivers, your phone doesn't have to send as strong of a signal to get to the nearby tower. It's not going 10 miles, it's only going 1 mile. Or approximate, right? And so your phone doesn't have to send as strong, and the towers don't have to send as strong. So it's actually safer because there's less power exposure. But that's been constantly going. So the newest one is just even more. It's, in a highly populated area, it's a tower every couple blocks, maybe. That is safer. It's safer because it doesn't have to send a signal as far. Then phased array. Phased array actually was used prior to 5G, but they added more stuff into the protocol for it. And phased array is a way to make multiple small antennas act as one large antenna and kind of steer and focus where it's being sent without actually having a dish. So with a dish, you can have a dish and you can aim the dish in different locations, and it will focus the signal in that one location. But you can't have a dish on a motor that moves around fast enough to service everybody in an area. So they do it electronically. It's like, well, somebody's over this direction, so we will tune everything so that the signal is strongest in this direction. But somebody's over in this direction, we'll tune it so it is strongest over in that direction. So what happens is the people that are not in the where it's aiming it get actual less exposure. That's a good thing. It's less exposure. The people that need the signal get the same amount of exposure as before, just enough for your phone to read it. That's it. Your phone only needs enough to receive the signal. And so the phone and the tower are constantly talking back and forth, part of the protocol, saying, this is how good the signal that I received was. This is how good the signal I received was, back and forth. And so they're always tuning it. So if you're driving away or moving away from the tower, your phone is telling the tower, oh, I need a little more. And it sends a little more. And the tower is saying the same to the phone. Or if you're driving towards it, same thing. Hey, you're too strong. Pull it back a little. So it's safer. Everything about the new stuff of 5G is actually safer. So anyway, that was a long thing. Charlie Welch, the first G was local. You had to find the G spot. MC2, and I'll see myself out. Yes. See yourself out. All right. Barry Muff said, turn the flurf off and on again. Should fix them. We've tried that. It doesn't. Eddie Reese says, even more evidence that flurfs cannot tech. Lord Illuminous Pooh, who has an absolute name that matches his next comment here, says, I'm a smart ass, always preferable to do a dumbass. Yep. Definitely. NANA for $6.66. That's your cube. Says MC Tune, I heard with 6G you will be able to make popcorn with your cell phone. I mean, did you see that was one of the misinformation things that they were sending around, was like they put everybody's cell phone in this ring around some popcorn kernels, and then they called the cell phones, and then the popcorn kernels popped. They didn't actually. It was all faked. But people weren't smart enough to do their own research and actually figure out that it wasn't real. So, Jaren's typing something. The guy's coming over. So he's getting on-site tech support. Interesting. But yeah, so people that don't know anything about 5G are the ones that were making the scare stories. If you look at them, is like Dana something. She knew nothing about 5G or about radio networking. It was just terrible, dumb, just a conspiracy nut. That's what she was. Another one, what's her name? Something Lou. She actually had a little bit of background and knew a little bit about it, but didn't actually know enough to be correct. Joe Imbriano, an absolute moron, completely just stupid as can be. Knew nothing about 5G, knew nothing about wireless radio frequencies or anything, but he was convinced that it was all going to be bad news and all the kids were going to drop over in the schools. So, Chippy Cones, you think people would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies? I don't know. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Yes, he's got tech support. That's what he's got. Scott Evans, hey Toon, you have an X-Wing back there. Yes, I do. It's right over there. Can you see it? Let's see. Yeah, you can see it. It's right there. There it is. Yeah, I got, the Saturn V. I've got this is the Fresnel lens that I used in the cold moonlight experiment. I've got, you can't see it much, but MC Toon right here is in Lego. One of my kids made for me. I've got the Lego globe right here, right there. And then for Father's Day, I got this bobblehead Batman. I should grab that. There it is. So yeah, where it sits, it's going to be a little hard to see, but there it is, bobblehead Batman. Marcus Dresden. Yeah, we love you, MC Toon, but 33 sucks though. Yeah, he does. Copper and Quarters. Look, people, you're so kind. Says thank you for the stream. We heart you. Judy. Lord Luminous Pooh, a truly great movie, a real genius. Val Kilmer, yeah. So Lord Luminous Pooh says real genius. Val Kilmer movie, early 80s. They fill a guy's house with popcorn with a military energy pop projectile weapon. I love that. That was such a great scene. I've also heard, and I don't know if I think this probably is not quite the case, but if you take a 5-gallon bucket of water with the right proportion of bubbly soap in it, and then put a chunk of dry ice in it, that you can fill a house with bubbles, which of course would do a lot of damage because it's wet. I know somebody. I knew somebody in high school that was all about TPing people's houses. Now, I don't know. Do you know what TP is? TPing somebody's houses. Should I ask a poll here? I figure Americans do, but I don't know if it's something people do know outside there. Um, so Mikey Smith, when he says pilots on Facebook, TikTok stating it's flat, Mikey Smith, they're mocking you. That's you're so dense that you don't even understand when somebody mocks you that they're mocking you. Let me just make it really clear. Somebody saying it's flat or somebody saying it's a globe isn't actually evidence for anything. So unless you want to accept somebody saying it's a globe, then I can get more pilots that say it's a globe than you can get pilots that say it's flat. Therefore, I win. If that's how you measure things, right? But I'm pretty sure you wouldn't accept that. So just saying, oh, here's a pilot saying something doesn't actually mean anything, Mikey. In order to establish what shape the Earth is, you need to actually just go measure it, which has been done, and it's a globe. So the plot hole says, where is this Jaren guy? He's having some technical difficulties. All right, so this is confirming for me my thing. All right, 77% know what TPing is to TP a house, and 23% don't. So I will, hold on a second. Yeah, okay. I was expecting it to be wrong, but it was right. All right. What a world, though. All right. Look, King Crew, that's okay. What a world said. You admit this is all a grift for money. That's honest of you. This is not all a grift for money. This is my hobby, and I love that I get paid for it. So thank you to everybody who has decided that what I do is worth watching. I'm absolutely honored. Thank you. And the fact that you would think that you would want to specifically send a super chat to me. I thank you very much. You don't need to. I'll do this either way. Anyway, so yeah, what a world. This is not all a grift for money, but I do earn money doing it. Yes. So let's see. All right, TPing a house. So what you do? It's TP is toilet paper. You typically late at night. You this was in high school, so there was not alcohol involved, but maybe people do it with alcohol. You need to be kind of ninja-like, so using alcohol would not be recommended, because you think you're more quiet, but you're not. You're much noisier. You go get a whole bunch of the cheapest toilet paper you can get. You go to somebody's house while they're sleeping. You wrap the trees. You throw it over the top. You put it all over the yard. You string stuff across the yard. That's the base. That's the base of TP. And then, the dew in the morning kind of makes it stick. So it's kind of a pain in the butt to clean up. Then people move on from there and they'll fork the yard. They'll go get a bunch of plastic forks and they'll stick them in the yard. Or they'll use more rigid more rugged things than toilet paper. And so like saran wrap, and they'll wrap a tree or a car or something. Well, I know a guy that was so into it, and he worked at a movie theater. And so at the end of the night, the popcorn that they didn't have, they'd throw away. Well, he could bring it home. So he would bring bags and bags of popcorn home. And he thought it would be funny to fill somebody's car with popcorn. The problem is that it gets into the ducting, right? The air conditioner and heater vents. And it makes it a real problem, and it's difficult to fix. So he did a bunch of damage. People are like, what are you doing? That was dumb. Anyway, that's where all this TP thing came from. So, or yes, this is going to Deus Ex Tomato. You put poo in a bag, set it on fire, put it on their porch, ring the doorbell, and run. Yes, because then they stomp on the bag, and then poo comes out. Was that in, did they do that in Back to the Future? They did that in some movies. So, Venda Dragon says in high school, all the cheerleaders would TP all the new footballers' houses before the game. Not sure why. Yep. That's the kind of stuff. It's generally not that bad. But when some people turn it to harm. So, all right, let me see here. Oh yeah, egging a house. That's rude. That's mean. Because you throw you throw a bunch of eggs at somebody's house, and it damages the paint usually. So you don't want to do that. Let's see. What a World says, hey, I'm thinking he's saying, Micktoon, can you confirm that the Earth's curve is accounted for by flamboyantly waving your hands nonstop for all your lil fanboys? Space question mark. No. This doesn't establish the shape of the Earth at all. For that, you need to actually go measure it. It's been done, and it's a globe. So let's see. Oh, so OG Kenji has a new Flurf bingo card. Can you send that to me on Discord? So, all right. Let me get this up here. Where'd it go? I don't want to miss these for you. Caucasian Sensation is a you've been a member before, but anyways, a new member at Newton. Thank you for that. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, did I read this? No, he didn't. I didn't. Says my profession is terrestrial wireless internet. I'm not a tower monkey, but I wish I was. So terrestrial wireless internet. So 802.11 or proprietary or some other protocol. My question to you. Or is it just point to point that you're doing the tower to tower stuff for distribution for backhaul? Let me know. What is it? I'm not a tower monkey, but I wish it was. There's days I'd love to climb a tower, but I don't think in the end I'd get kind of tired of it. I think I did have that guy on that was a installer who came out claiming that 5G was bad without knowing what it was. Actually, he was just an installer. An installer isn't any better prepared to understand what 5G is or is not than anybody else. So, and he didn't know any background to it. So, all right. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, I'm so old. We used to throw toilet paper and eggs on people's houses. Now those things are worth gold. That's true. That's true. My mother-in-law is like, did you see how much eggs cost? I went down to the store and they were only $4.57 a piece. So I bought 4 dozen. They're in your fridge already. I brought them in. Thank you. Thank you for the eggs. So the cost of eggs has doubled, but it's still not that much. Ableist says Canadians definitely TP'd houses. Makes sense in Canada. Peachy Tony says, we all know what TPing a house is. You drink a lot of tea until you're just about bursting. No, don't. You do that to people's tires, not houses. Chris Fun says, this super chat, I think it's for your What a World, says this super chat is to provide evidence that this is a grift for money. What a World. Grow up there, What a World. Silly kid. But What a World, tell you what. This is an invitation just for you, What a World. My email address is mctoon@mctoon.net. Right here, mctoon. See that right on the screen? mctoon. mctoon@mctoon.net. That's my email address. You can come on the show and you can educate me on all of the incredible evidence that convinced you that the Earth is flat. Like, certainly your standard of evidence is so high that it's off the screen, right? That this is the level of evidence that you demanded to convince you that the Earth is flat, right? And so you bring all that, you bring it, just delicately bring it, put it together and hold it gently in your hands. And then you can come on my show and you can present it. The amazing high level of evidence that you demanded to convince you that the earth is flat. You can present that live. I'll we can set up a format. I'll give you a 10-minute uninterrupted, and you can present all the evidence for flat earth. For flat earth. Not I don't think it's flat. No, for flat earth. Because just saying I don't get this isn't evidence for something. You do that. So email me again, mctoon@mctoon.net. You can come on. We'll set it up. It'll be great. A great time will be had by all. The Caucasian Sensation says that settles it. Everyone who graduated high school knows what TPing is. That 20% or so who've never heard of it haven't graduated. Flurfs. It's 79% that know. That means there's a full 21% that don't know what TPing is. So, Fairy Muff says sending for Mikey Smith. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Oh, where'd you go, Mikey? Are you still here? Oh no, that's the wrong one. I mean, I can play. We can all enjoy your Mikey Smith. Mikey, did you mirror it on your channel? I said you could. You can mirror it on your channel. Hey, Jaren says he fixed it. All right, he's going to send over the Zoom in a second. All right, remember, people, don't be the douche. All right, don't be the douche. Let somebody else do that. All right, let's all right, let's get a little Mikey. Here we go.
Yes, it is kind of interesting. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. It's a little cold out tonight or this afternoon. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Mashed potatoes.
Why? Mashed potatoes.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Do-do-do. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Do-do-do. I do the research and the experiments. Do-da.
Do-da.
Here's my little character. Celery. Celery.
You got some, Mikey. You got some rhythm there. It's amazing.
Bum, 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 bum. La 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 la. La 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 la. Tip me over and hear me shout. Three little pigs. Blah blah blah. Ramble, ramble, ramble. Flattest highway in North America. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Do-do-do. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Do-do-do. That's kind of weird. Hopefully Cheese Whiz is on sale.
Thank you, Mikey. Amazing work. Amazing work. Yeah, all right. So Jaren is getting ready. It'll be a little abbreviated. We'll figure out what we want to do. So Cap Q57, Mikey's literally a toddler in a big body. He is. All right. Let's see. We got Mailbox Baseball, says Holden McGroin. Oh my goodness, Holden McGroin. Yep, Mailbox Baseball. That's where you sit in the back of your pickup truck, and you got a baseball bat, and you hit while driving down the country road the the mailboxes until you hit something hard. So, all right, the OG Kenji made a new Flurf bingo card. All right, I'll have to look at that later. Fact base says dog poop and paper bag and light on fire. Always funny. Thomas Matthews says any word from recently from Jeffrey Rogers' employer. No, nothing. I'm planning a documentary on I'll just say I'm planning a documentary. How about that? A Drobiel says, to me, a grift would be like if you made your shows and debates pay-per-view, right? I suppose you could say. I suppose you could say that. To me, a grifter is somebody that just does it for the money and isn't doing it because they accept it themselves. So for that, I would say I think that like Matt Boylan is, because Matt Boylan started his Flat Earth stuff as a comedy routine, and then he developed a character. It's not his actual like persona that he's doing. And then he sells things and he does it to make some money on it, which for some things is okay, right? If you're gonna be create a facade and have a persona and do things, it's okay, but not if you're like spreading misinformation. That's not okay. So that to me is what a grift would be. Other people may have a different definition for what they think a grift is. So. Lord Illuminous Poo says, sorry, driving took me a minute to answer. Point to point, fiber to the feed tower. Okay. Yeah. I love that stuff. I do. Tim Osman. Now there's two Tim Osmans. I don't know which one this is. But Tim Osman, let's see. Okay. All right. This is the not Flurf Tim Osman. So it looks like. So anecdotal evidence is not evidence. Not strictly, it's not. No. So anyway. Cal L Cool J says back once again for that Renegade Master. Frank Burns, where's my spanner? You know, we don't use the word spanner in America. I don't think many people in America know what a spanner is. We call it a wrench. I have a friend from India, and I was helping him on stuff, and he's talking about a spanner. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And he had to explain it. He found one. He's like, this is a spanner. I said, that's a wrench. So that's how I found out that the term spanner was from my friend from India. So, William Foley says for $10, says Mikey is entertaining, but give him credit. He at least tries to make measurements. True. He formulates a hypothesis and does an experiment, usually ends in comedy gold, but he's one up on the rest. Yes. Totally. All right. Jaren is typing something. I don't know what he's typing, but Sean Hawkins says we do use the term when we refer to a pin spanner, but a wrench is a wrench. Oh, all right. Jaren sent me the link. Let me get this up here. It's an hour and a half in. So it's all right. All right. Waiting for it. So, let's see here. I'm gonna have to get the Zoom meeting, the scene set up. but he sent the link, and I'm waiting for it to go. So this will be, we'll figure out what it'll be. It'll be a little shorter than usual, but remember, people, don't be dicks. Let them do that. NA says, "Are you afraid to debate McFlatty?" No, but I think he's scared to debate me. I keep asking, and he won't. Caucasian Sensation says, "In field artillery, tool for fuses is a spanner." Jiffy Codes, would I be miffed if we said interesting in this chat? No. Go ahead. In the chat would be fine. Don't do it in his. So I'm he just has like a stock screen set up so far. So I'll have to get it set up, and I'm gonna have you got the live chat in the middle, like I often do. Oh, there it is. You saw a preview of what he's got going on his side there. Right there. That's what he's sending so far. So I think he's still setting things up. So John Michelson says he's killing time to make the engagement as short as possible, like in Congress when they repeat thank you for that question, Senator, 100 times. I had proposed something a while ago, and he came around and said, yeah, this is let's do it. So this was prompted by him, so I don't think he has any reason to duck out. So William Foley says, in the machine shop, a spanner is used to tighten cutter holders. Okay. A lot of things for spanners. A Drobeel says, wasn't taken personally at all. Thought I should clarify my super chat. Wasn't sure if MC Dune got the reference. Ooh, I'm hearing something. I think he's got a lot of setting up to do. So, look, Lord Racer, don't be that person, Lord Racer. Nobody wants that person.
Test. Oh, that's better. I hear myself at least.
I hear you, Jaren.
Oh, beautiful. You know what I did, Tuner? I plugged the Ethernet cable into the box that I thought was the modem. And the guy came over and he's like, "That's not the modem. It's a box that it says the word 1 on it. I guess it's some device like a smart speaker or something." Anyway, that wasn't the modem. I just plugged it in.
All right.
It won't work. All right, I'm gonna get ready to go live here. Give me 2 seconds.
All right, I'll be live soon. I mean, an hour and a half ago.
Well, I told you that it would be.
I know. It's.
You went live at 6 anyway?
I did, yes.
Okay.
So no problem.
I mean, if you'd rather wait, we can wait.
No. We can figure out an abbreviated something. But your volume is a bit low.
Low? Okay, 1 second.
If you can adjust it.
I'm showing anything on my OBS.
But yeah, so be careful. Everything you say is going out live. So if you do say something weird, make sure you belch it so the people know you're not serious.
Was that the rule?
I don't know. I just made that up.
Oh, all right.
Let me see. I knew people that would always belch Abraham Lincoln. That was for some reason, their thing.
Seems a little strange.
So, definitely strange. But you know what? I'm going to ask my my chat if they can do that. So.
If they can belch Abraham Lincoln. Incredible. Okay, I think that's. Hello. Yeah,
there it is. All right. It is low. I mean, I can adjust it on my side, but
it's gotta turn this compressor just there.
I have to turn your gain up.
It's so weird being somewhere else than where you're used to being. Everything gets thrown off. You're like, okay, so that one's done. That's good, good.
But yeah, you're definitely.
If I'm going to be over here more, is that better sound?
It is a little louder, yes.
Okay, let me check my. Oh wait,
4-word joke from a Lord Illuminous Pooh says, venison is a bit dear. 3, stationary store moves. 2, dwarf shortage. 1, me. Haha. Fake laugh hiding real pain. Oh.
oh, that's why I'm so quiet. All right, I fixed it.
You figured it out?
Yes. I had the wrong speaker on, or the wrong part of the mixer on. All right, so that sounds better there.
Yeah, that got louder.
Okay, let's check this. And we get to go on my side. Open sound settings. No, not that one.
It might have
On too high now.
No. I had your gain up here, so.
Let me see properties. Make sure this is good. Yes.
But once you stop messing with it, I'll fix it.
Okay, I'm going to stop messing with it as of right now.
Okay.
And let me make sure you can hear. Well, I guess you only need to hear audio on my side, but if you do you hear like this intro here? Let me see if it's down. Do you hear this sound come across? Great. Now I don't hear it either.
I don't hear it, no.
Hold on. I don't hear it either. I have to change these settings. What? Oh, Jesus. I almost blew my eardrums out.
Good thing it didn't come through here. Man.
Why in God's name is that so loud? Holy shit. It's going to blow my ear.
I don't hear a thing. So fine with me.
Yeah, it's not playing on the output.
Ooh. So Demon Stride said Flurfs can't tack. I don't know. You're a bit too you're owning that right now. This is a good one. Graybeard is wondering, are all UK spanners hand operated or air cooled?
You don't hear that, Mission?
No.
Check, make sure the mic on right thing. Microphone. Yeah.
I hear some when you talk. I hear the background. Now I got it. No, I hear it now. Oh yeah, it's plenty loud now.
I need to do. Don't think so.
All right.
All right, we can go. Let me just turn on the rock fin real quick, and we'll be good to go. Do I have a restream ready to go? Yes, that one's good, and rock fin, yes. And we'll go here.
Are you going to be on camera?
Yep.
Okay.
Just I don't even know how the camera's set up right, but I'll worry about that in a second. Rock fin. Look, I don't really care what it looks like. It's part of the joys of being married. Account. Let's see. Right, so what have you been saying? What shit have you been talking already?
I have not. What are you?
Please.
Jaren.
Please.
I'm the nice one.
Okay.
You know what I told him? I said, don't go over to Jaren's chat and be dicks. I told him that.
Really? That's new for you.
Yeah. What?
Usually it's, go over to so-and-so. I'm not telling you to do it, but if somebody did,
all right. That's enough. That's it.
All right.
Never.
Tuesday. What time is it? 7:35. All right. Well, we'll deal with it.
We have had a few more flatties over on our side here.
Nice. Who's there? Anybody good?
I don't know. Nobody's name that I've seen before much. Somebody what something?
What something?
I don't know.
Don't tell me not your sister.
What a world. What a world. Do you know what a world?
Maybe.
He just said, any other heterosexuals here in the chat or no?
Probably not.
You see, would you probably not. Jaren.
Let me just do it. Hold on. Content management. Is that what I want to do? Yes. Live stream. Yes.
All right.
I'll
I'll have to say, there have been a little more distribution of interesting than usual.
That's probably normal. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
It's all right. You can get
Mikey
into that
Smith was
beginning.
here. Do you know Mikey Smith?
Don't think so.
You don't know Mikey Smith?
I might. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell. Is this he has a channel or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. Mikey Smith.
Now, he's from Canada.
No.
He really liked Flat Earth Fokker. You know Fokker. But Flat Earth Fokker didn't like him.
No.
No.
No. Don't do this to me right now. YouTube is telling me I need to verify, and I've got the weirdest problem with YouTube. It doesn't verify it doesn't bring up the notification on my phone. I usually have to like do some roundabout things to get through.
Oh my goodness.
But I think it'll go through. Let me see if we do. I find my password. It's like everything's new because I'm in a new place. First, I tried to log into my LastPass. It was telling me no.
Oh yeah.
Now it's telling me to open my YouTube app, and if I open it, I guarantee you that there's no notification.
So, while you do that, somebody asked, "Who remembers?" What was that?
Sorry, it did come through. I did get it.
Okay, good.
All right, we're in.
All right.
Okay, go ahead. Somebody asked what?
Somebody asked. Richard Fuchs asked, and I think I know the. I'm sorry, I think I know the answer. It says, who remembers the nickname Cool Hand Logic had for Jaren?
I don't recall.
You don't? Okay. We'll see what my chat here says. Certainly, Richard Fuchs probably does. So, all right.
I'm ready. I'm just gonna go bring this up. And I'm ready to go.
All right.
Okay. Let me bring on my camera. Make sure that's working fine. And we go. There's a bunch of people in chat. Let me just tell them I'm here. I'm here. Start in 2 min. Okay.
We got one.
Rockfin is good. We're just gonna need the title here. We got one what?
NA says wants to ask you, do you like movies about gladiators?
I don't get it.
Or have you ever spent time in a Turkish prison?
Oh. Airplane jokes?
Yes.
Sorry. I'll allow it. What time are we at?
It's 9:38 Central Time.
Nobody goes by that Central Time.
Just a few of us, yeah.
Okay, 7:30 p.m. Go. Okay. Oh, what? 7:37. You happy now? 7:43. Good.
What's
All right.
why do you need the time?
For Rockfin to set up a stream.
Oh.
Won't let you set one up in the past, so you have to put a time in the future.
Oh, okay.
There's downloads. Let's put this there and there, and we're ready to go. Good. We got thumbnail. And I'll just put join me and MC tune. All right, we're going to go with.
So Mikey Smith is hurt that you don't know who he is.
How would I know? I'll have to check his channel.
No,
a lot of people for me to know.
Don't worry about it. It's completely understandable that you wouldn't know who he is. He's so
That's
goofy.
Rude. Have you debated him?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think we're good there. That one's good. And we're ready.
Now, don't say your password out loud.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
We got Rockfin on. We got this one on. All right. I'm going to go live. I probably will. Should I play my intro music? Yeah, I guess I will. Or my little intro. Just so I can make sure we're all good. Oh, yeah. You want to make sure this camera works. And webcam. So I don't have you at all on here. All right. Fix this.
Yeah, I got to put me in. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, but this is all bad. I didn't set any of this up yet. Is that... Hello? Why is the lighting so bad?
All right, people are seeing the behind the scenes, Jaren. This is great.
It's not that exciting, I'm telling you. So I could tell to everybody when the show starts, but I'm actually in a very cool place that I didn't expect to be in. Okay. I didn't know it was going to be like this. Let me scoot this way. That should be good enough. And then I'm going to see if I can put you in there in the intro. Countdown this on video. Okay, I'll do that during the... Oops.
Do I sound better like this?
Actually, yes.
Yeah?
What is that? Oh, that thing.
It's my microphone.
Yes, I see that. All right. Okay, I'm going to get going. And it takes about a minute and a half, so see you shortly.
All
You
right.
can mute and do whatever you want over there on your side.
All right.
See you in a short.
All right. I'll oh, there we go. Fix that. Um, you see, oh my gosh, he's sending me the audio. So, yeah, who did Cool Hard Logic call him geranium? Somebody said geranium. And NA says, oh, I'm gonna mute. There we go. Mute myself over there. He's got his timer thing. Randomly epic. How does Jaren decide which science to accept and which science to reject? That's a great question. Well, we know, right? In general, flat earthers take, whatever fits their pre-selected conclusion, they accept, and whatever that doesn't, they reject. It's standard science denialism. It's the third law of Lerf. So, Lord Illuminous Poos is breaking news. A clairvoyant of reduced height has escaped local authorities. He's a small medium at large. Oh my gosh. I thought you were talking about Santos for a second. I love that. And then Lord Illuminous Poo again says, update, the conflict has been apprehended and during interrogation admitted climbing down a ladder to escape. In fact, he was a little condescending. Jonathan here. Yes, I'm aware of what Cool Hard Logic called him. You see, I don't want that here. I want to have a something little a good exchange here with Jaren. So, but we do have what a world was whining about stuff. You don't need to whine about stuff. So, all right, we're gonna start. Oh, he's still going with his intro thing. It's almost done. All right. We'll wait. All right. So all right. Is it about time?
The Jaranism show. McToon and I are getting together for a structured debate. Sorry, I am tardy. I had some interesting, surprising news yesterday, and then I drove 7 hours.
Interesting.
So I'm in
He
a
uses
different
that word a
location than I
lot.
plan on being, and we're gonna bring McToon on here in a second. I think he's live on his channel, and we will see how it goes. So thank you for being here. We'll do Speaker's Corner after this, and I will kind of highlight everybody where I'm at and what I'm doing. Let me see here what is going on with this thing, and we'll bring McToon on 1 second. I just have to add his little picture.
He's getting ready.
Oh, there you go. I hear you now.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. You want to do a coin flip real quick just to see who's going to go first?
You
just look up like
sure. Go ahead. I don't care.
display cap. Okay. Oopsie. Sorry. So my computer set up a whole new location. I'm in a totally new location, so everything's a little bit of a mess. And no, I want the other monitor. This one. What?
Are you? I don't see you still. I just see your static.
Yeah, I was trying to add you. There you are. I was just trying to add you. It's not working. Okay, let me just put you over here. So how did this come about? Basically, I don't even know who messaged who first a couple months ago. And just kind of been going back and forth and kind of talked about maybe doing a show, maybe seeing how it goes. And if we end up yelling and screaming like children, then probably won't do another one. But if we can get through this one, maybe we can do it again. It's something that personally I've wanted something like this, I guess, even since back with the, and I'm not saying it'll be McToon because it might not be. MC Toon, sorry. I'm gonna make that mistake over and over again. But I wanted this even since back when, Red's Rhetoric first started to reach out to me. I kind of thought that it was cool because I said, oh, here's this guy that supposedly knows all these things that I want to know and is willing to talk to me. But of course, every time we went live, he wasn't really willing to talk to me. He just wanted to make a joke out of the whole thing. So, and then that's how every Glober is. There's not really anybody that actually takes the topic seriously. So then they don't understand why we don't take them seriously. But that would be the reason. So if I could ever find somebody that I was able to talk through some of these things, and we'll find out tonight if, or at least I'll find out. What I like to do is I don't want to take what other people say either. Let me bring this over here. I don't want to take what other people say and call that fact. I would rather know for myself. What I mean by that is that a lot of people have very ill opinions of Mike here, and I will know by the end of this show. Well, I guess this is gonna be a little shorter than we planned, but it's certainly by the end of the next one we do, if it's worth continuing a conversation. Because if we can get some concessions on some things, I think that, or if you don't concede and you give me your reasons why not, and I accept those or have to look into further, then that's a good start. But blatantly ignoring obvious things to me is a sign that we probably won't do it again. So anyway, let me get up a coin flip. But I guess we could just talk. If you want to start, just tell everybody who's watching, who you are, in case they don't know.
Hello, everybody. I'm MC Toon. You can call me Mike, or Flat Earthers tend to call me McToon. It's a way that I know who's who. So, whatever. Yeah. MC Toon is my fake rap name. You don't want to hear me rap. I'm not a real rapper. I have, it's been 5 years I've been doing Flat Earth debunking. I don't even like that term, but I use it. So, hello, everybody. And I've been on your show before, so I think a good number of them are
Sure, I remember that.
familiar.
Best show ever. You had the best ratings. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, I'm currently live on my channel with 575 people. So you walked away. Where'd you go? So Bilu knows all, sees all.
Okay. So let me do a coin flip and we will get going. And I've got a couple things for us. I think I planned on being a little bit more with it right now because I didn't plan on driving 7 hours today. All right, let's bring this over here so you can see it real quick. You can see that now, maybe. Yes, you can, right? It's coin flip. We are going to, I'll let you call it. Ready?
Oh, no, hold on. I got to get it on screen so people can see it. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Heads.
It is heads.
All right. What's that mean? I get to choose?
Yeah, you can choose whether you want to go first or second.
I'll go second.
Okay. Let me get this off now. Put that over there. Okay.
People probably don't know the structure.
Yeah, do I have that form? Let me see if I have it. It would be in my. I sent it to you on Facebook.
Yeah, and
Do you have it right there?
no, I don't. But I can pull it up. It's a resume.
I just grabbed the quickest template I could.
It's a resume template. I'm like, Jaren,
you only know that because I didn't change the name. For being honest.
Well, if you hadn't called my attention to it, I might not have actually noticed it.
What did I say?
You said, never mind the name, I think.
Oh, okay. Well,
Something like that.
How long ago was it I sent to you?
I don't know. I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah, I'm going to messages too.
Telegram
is so much better. Telegram, you can just go straight to files and it brings up all the files that you two have shared. I
don't like Telegram. It's terrible. It's called Contemporary Resume. That's the name of it. You said, sorry about the file name.
Yeah, so see, I can't even search that in
You can.
Where do you search in Messenger?
Up in are you in the web client or in the
I'm on
app?
my phone.
Oh, you're on your phone. Oh, yeah, you can't on the phone.
Oh, geez. Let me find it here. Oh, you said app? Can you just bring it up on the screen?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay. Everybody can see your screen, so if you just do that.
Hold on.
And I don't know if we'll get through that whole thing either because it was scheduled for like 2 hours, which we don't have now.
Yes. Well, I'll say intro, opening statement, 5 minutes each, and then a reply to the opening statement. And then the important thing was the short topic discussion, five 5 minutes each, 6 topics. So each of us was going to present 3, but we wouldn't have time for that. So
Well, we can get to that and then maybe leave the questions for next time. So we'll do like a little intro and then we'll just do that topics just since we each have those ready.
sure.
Okay. All right. Well, as far as an intro goes for me, we'll just go ahead and, I had a clock up there. Yeah, just still up there. Let's see if we can start that clock. What is it, 5 minutes you said?
Yes.
Let me go over here. What clock am I starting at? Oh, that's 7 minutes. Great. 8 minutes. Do I have any 5s? Thank you. No. All right. Bring this up real quick. So I'll describe one thing that I think is a problem that I have with most globe believers, but certainly McToon is one of them and many others. So the problem that I have, and let me just start this so we get the clock going. Yes, good. And that should be 5 minutes now. And reset, go. Okay, good. All right. So the problem that I have is that, and I described it to McToon recently too. I said, it's as if we see somebody robbing a bank, right? We see this guy, he's running out of the bank. He's got his duffel bag full of, who knows what, right? He's got his ski mask on, and I point out and I yell across, hey, that guy just robbed the bank. And out of the pub or whatever comes McToon and Simon Dan and Red's Rhetoric and all the other Globers together. And I say, guys, that guy he just robbed that bank. Let's get him. And it's as if you guys all ran over there and said, excuse me, sir, did you just rob that bank? And the guy's like, no. And then they turn around and say, Jaren, you're such an idiot, man. Of course you didn't rob the bank. We just asked him. Well, that's what it's like, because what you guys do is simply go to the people that we say are lying, go to the people that we say are deceiving you, and get their answer, which is, of course, going to be a cover-up for whatever the deception we're saying is. Let's say that, for example, that it is a deception. Then you guys are the worst at actually uncovering anything. You're the least skeptical people I've ever known in my life. You're not skeptical of anything as long as it comes from science. There's no skepticism. So it's hilarious to me that the people that are supposed to be skeptical, for instance, when we had the 24-hour video of the sun from Antarctica, and you guys brought it to us as evidence. Here it is. Here's the evidence. Well, we had to point out to you that it was looped, that it was altered. None of you guys found that. We found it. So if it wasn't for flat earthers, you guys would just be accepting anything that floats your boat, anything that pre-confirms or, gives you what you've been looking for. So I don't think that really globe earthers are truly looking for the truth. They think they already have it. They've already said before that, people that are intelligent don't go looking for answers to questions or to questions or to answers that they already think they know, right? So it's not as if MC Toon watches one of my videos or somebody else's and is actually trying to learn. What he's doing is watching it for joke quality, looking for things that he can poke fun at. There's no actual investigation going on at all. If any, it's to go and reconfirm something that he already believes. So, we don't believe that spectroscopy works. Okay, well then he goes and grabs a paper and then brings it back, which is not impressive to anyone, at least to me. And I used to think it was impressive. I used to think that people that went to school and got it in college education were impressive. And I guess look at them as impressive as they stuck with it. They did the hard work when many of us just bailed. We didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So we just got out. It wasn't a matter of weren't smart enough. I think if you went through and looked at people that dropped out of college, it doesn't necessarily mean they're not smart enough. It just meant that they weren't willing to regurgitate, to do the extra work, to do work that seemed mundane, to do work that seemed unimportant. And some people were yes men. Some people were absolutely okay with doing anything that the teacher asked them. And this is the world that we live in, where you get promoted, you get straight A's, you get to become a professor, you get to become a dean. These are the people that move on, because you do whatever you're told and believe whatever you're told to believe. So one of the things we always get is, what are your credentials? Jaren, what are your credentials? Show us your credentials. Well, thank God I don't have credentials. If I had credentials, if I went to college, I would believe what you guys do, because the point of college is to indoctrinate those people. Now, it's an easy thing to see that if you were elite, if you were upper echelon, you had power, you had money, you would never sit around a table and say, let's think of how we teach children to be smarter than us, to come and take our money, to take our power. That's ludicrous. And that's what you have to believe. What makes much more sense is they would sit around and say, how do we dumb these people down? How do we make sure that our money is never jeopardized, that our power is never compromised? And the way you do that is through an education program that makes tax-paying slaves. It makes people complacent. It makes people go along with whatever the mainstream is. We're at a point in the world now where people are afraid to speak out against anything that isn't mainstream. They don't want their YouTubes canceled. They don't want their social medias canceled. So I know it's kind of a weird intro, but my goal here is today is I want to start the conversation on some topics that I think should be handled, meaning you have a glober and you've got a flat earther coming together. If we can actually make some headway, if we can actually say, isn't this true? And we both can agree and we can move forward, then we're getting somewhere. And anybody who's been watching this debate for the last 8 years, whatever it's been, knows that there isn't any of that. There isn't ever a moving forward. There's never a concession. It's as if both sides are just yelling at a wall. And it's pretty ridiculous, and I don't want to do it anymore. All right. 5 minutes for you, my friend.
All right. This is just the intro, right?
Yeah, just a little intro.
So, well, I have been interested in this topic for over 5 years. And when I first heard of it, I'm like, that's a bit strange. But it was one of your debates was the first. Yours and Red's was the first, I think, debate that I ever experienced. And when I got into this, I said, well, I don't want to be, right. Red's is a great guy, but I didn't want to be the vulgar guy. I didn't want to be rude. And so when you said you didn't, when you had interactions with the Reds, they went a certain direction. I see that happened. And so when I came into this, I thought, I'm not going to be that. So I'm glad that we've been able to talk. And however we had, hopefully this goes well. Concession, I want correctness, right? I want accuracy. So conceding something that's not correct isn't something that I would be interested in. I want to get to the correct understanding of something. And so if I need to concede to something, if I was wrong, absolutely. My wife says often, you always think you have to be right. And I know better than to say this back, but yes, right, she's not here. Yes, I do think I always need to be right. And if I find out that I'm wrong, I'm going to instantly change my mind so I'm right. So if I'm wrong about something, definitely I want to know about it and I want to fix that. So that's what I really hope to do. So I see your point and I see how you went into this. I myself, when I first started, took some of these things to heart and said, yeah, I did not personally test some of these things. Since then I have. So I can say and I can show what I've done. I'm currently still borrowing this P1000 from Joe Hill. This is his P1000. So I had a meetup last night. I invited him to come. He couldn't make it. I would have maybe returned it to him because I've had it for several months now. So yes, I've done the things with that at the ocean. I live in Minnesota, far from the ocean, but I on vacation have gotten down to Florida, and Alabama. So I've done some things there. So I don't know. I don't have a whole lot more. There you go.
Okay. Good. And then we were supposed to do the topic, right? So this is basically just a back and forth. And I think, if I remember right, what I sent you on a topic, we'll start with, I'll just start with hypocrisy or with claims that we're being deceitful when I don't think that that's at all the case. So, for example, I was watching, and I can bring up the video, but you might recall, you were covering Caleb and Derek's presentation at the summit. And at one point, they say the 66,600 mile per hour I'm sorry, just set the clock back at, what is this, 5 minutes also?
Yes.
I think so. They were saying 66,600 miles per hour, and then you said, "Oh, when any flat earther says this, they are just taking some random number. It could be that it was traveling between different speeds. You said if you went to the store going 66 points, you were going 70 miles per hour, but at some point you went 66.6 miles per hour. So you equated those two things, which is a joke, because obviously, if you take the 93 million mile orbit of the Earth and you plug that into any circle calculator, you're going to get 584 million for the orbit. You take the 584 and you divide by 365.25, and then divide that by 24, and you get 66,600. So that's not being deceptive. That's you being deceptive and pretending that doesn't exist. We didn't make that up. We're not just saying 60. Oh, it just happens to be. No, that is the average speed of the Earth around the sun. Simply taking the 584, and I don't know what it comes out to if you do a circuit calculator with that, but I can do it right now if we want, just to see what it comes out to. So I'm doing circle calculator, and I would be shocked if it wasn't exactly 66.6. I mean 66,600. Now I don't know what the numbers that come after that are. Circle calculator. So we're doing a radius of, let's just do a diameter of, no, let's do radius of 93 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we'll go calculate, and we get a circumference of 584,336,233.5677. So I'm just going to copy that, put it into my calculator, put that, paste. Whoops. Can you do Control V there? Okay. Now I'm going to divide that number, which is, I can put this where you guys can see. Can you see that? So we're right there, 584. We're going to divide that by, oops, where's my calculator at? Here. Divide that by 365.2, I don't know if it's 0.25, 0.24, whatever. We'll just put 0.25 for now. And we get that, and we're going to divide that by 24, and we're going to get 66,659. So nobody is being deceptive, no matter what they tell you.
What was the
It's an
answer?
actual number, 66,659. So when we say 66,600, it's not that we're making up 666 numbers or that we're just arbitrarily throwing them in. That is the accepted known speed of the sun, of the Earth around the sun. So just what I find with Globers is that they always want to claim everybody else is lying, everybody else is being deceptive, and they're just never off. They're just everything they're right about. It's like, no, you're wrong on a lot of things. I had one question about something that was on your site here. Speaking of, well, you can comment on that if you want, but I think that a problem I see, McToon, is that your audience trusts you a lot, believes you a lot. Meaning that when you say something, I hope you realize that it carries with it the fact that those people who watch you don't really do much research, whether you realize that or not. We may not realize that as creators because we do research, we're looking into things, then we present it, and it's almost like in our mind, we think that these people have gone through the same process, and they haven't. And I know that it's true of flat earth believers. I know that that's true. I know that it's not safe for me just to go on my show and say anything, because if I do, those people might believe me. And maybe that's because I've created a track record that they should, or whatever reason they believe me. So I actually look at that and I think about that before I say things. Whereas I'm not sure that Globers do. I don't think that they care, that they're, that even like now when I say that, you'll just say like, well, no, but it is just an average. You are just grabbing that. Okay, you can, but to make the claim that people are being deceptive, as if they're sitting around, what should we call the speed? Let's call it 66,600. No. If the math came out to 66,400, then we wouldn't say 666. It's just not what the math comes out to when you do the average. Go ahead.
All right. The timer wasn't going, but
yeah, I saw that.
The time went fine. So your number came out 66,659, not 66,600. And if you round it, it's 667, rounded to 3 digits. So it's still not actually the number, but it's a range. What's that?
I think they said, I don't remember what they said, but they didn't say 66,600. They said 66,006 something.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what
Maybe
they said.
616 is what I kind of remember. I don't know.
But I've had several hundred debates on here, and pretty often they bring that number up. And typically when I hear it, they just round it to 66600, which of course isn't 666. It's a thousand times more than it, but it's not the average. It's not the fastest. It's not the slowest. It's one of the numbers within the range that was selected because it has a certain meaning to somebody. But as if, and this is the real problem then, that number was somehow selected as if it means something, as if the people that somehow caused all of these things together to output that number.
Could that not be the case? Let's say
that could definitely not be the case.
Why is that?
Because it's just a number within a range. Right? How fast did I drive to work? Did I drive to work at 66.6 miles an hour? I did not. I drove between 60 and 70, and at one moment or multiple moments, I was going precisely 66.6 miles an hour.
But if we took your total trip and we divided that by the total time to the exact number, and it was that number, then that would be different.
If it was that exact number, yes, that would be different. But if it was
the exact number is having 666 in it, 66,006 whatever.
But how is that evidence for something?
It's not. I think it's an interesting point. I mean, would you find it to be if we came out and started talking about flat Earth, and you started looking into it and found, oh my goodness, the originator of flat Earth was a former SS Nazi member who the United States government brought over here against the knowledge of the United States citizens. They didn't know. It was a private thing that got leaked out, years later. And then people had to kind of accept it and suck it up. But there was over 1,600 Nazi high-ranking level members of SS that came over, built these bombs, built these missiles, and then became the heads of NASA. So if the roles were reversed, you would totally have a problem with it. You guys would totally say like, oh my God, flat Earth is a joke. Do you know who started it? Nazi members.
Well,
but because it's your world, it's because then we just accept it. We're just like,
definitely a lot of people reference that there are a disproportionate number of those kinds of people in the flat Earth movement. Dubé specifically.
Okay, so you have a problem with that, right?
Yeah, I don't say, but I would not say Earth is not flat because of that.
Well, and if you
right?
heard
that's not an indication of the shape of the Earth.
Yeah, but has anybody ever said the Earth is not a globe because 66,600 miles per hour?
They use it as part of their case. Absolutely.
Again, wouldn't you use it as part of your case if you found something like that has some connection? Because you have to recognize that many people who believe in this, and it may not be.
I already don't. I don't say Earth is a globe because Eric Dubé likes Hitler. I don't say that. I already don't do that.
I don't say it either, but I do think that it's an interesting number that happens to be the Earth going around the sun, and you can start to say that a lot of people believe that there's some sort of sun worship going on by these ancient, whether it's the Babylonian cults or the Chaldean, whatever, that maybe are still around today, the Egyptian connections. And so when you get a number like that tends to, now for me, I have a totally different belief, right? I believe that number is used by people in positions of power in order to get people onto the side of belief. That's just me, my personal thing. I'm not Christian like most flat earthers, so I've got a little different opinion of those things. I think that it's all part of a master kind of deception. That one of the things that they use is if they make Monster Energy drink and make it a 666, say it on the back of the beast, right? Or if they do these kind of things where they keep referencing that number, what it does is and I've heard people say it to me, well, Jaren, why would the elite worship Satan? Why would the elite believe in 666? Why would they do that? So to me, it's like, well, they want you to think that they do. Whether or not they actually do, I don't know. I'm not behind closed doors. I don't know if they're actually sacrificing babies. Don't know that. I've heard that they might.
I don't. I'll just say,
okay.
There's a long list of things that I could put together and build a meme of here are the people that think the Earth is flat, and here is the different things that are in there. But I actually did create a meme where there are a bunch of 666s in flat Earth as a joke, and sometimes I put that around as a joke, but it's just a joke. So anyway,
okay.
our time is up.
Yes. Go ahead. You can start the next topic.
All right. I'm gonna share my screen. So let me get over to Zoom here. There you go. All right. So you specifically, and you have a point, said that hold on, I'm fixing the scene here. That a lot of people don't do their own research, and you're right. Not everybody can go and do the
No, I
things
recognize
that.
that.
Yeah, I get that. You can't. I don't think you can expect that. I think that people are experts in different topics, and they're gonna be they're
Well,
gonna
and that's
work
why
on their
people
topics.
watch us, right? Because we're, maybe they don't have time
Yeah,
to do
and
the research and they expect us to.
I took it. I've taken it to heart when you've mentioned this, and I hadn't thought of it. That people believe me, and even if I say, don't just believe me. You should definitely be checking things out for yourself. People still will, and I know that flat earthers do that. So as well. So the it goes both ways. So I have done things myself. I prepared this. This is not something I specifically did myself, but it's something that one of us did ourselves. So it goes straight to that point. So is the timer going? I can't see it.
Go ahead. No.
Okay. So this is from Res Rhetoric. This is his elevation of the ISS measurement. And I don't know if you've gone over this. It involves a little bit of trigonometry. This is about high school level trig. And of the, I hope that this isn't too far for most people. I think if you don't use trig, it gets super rusty. I get that. I wouldn't expect people that don't do trig to get it, but saying it's not right just because you don't want it to be right, of course. And Jaren, I'm not saying you did this, but that's not the correct way to have a response to this either. So anyway, this is simply screenshots from his video. This is the diagram of what he and Astronomy Live did. You'll see that the angles A and B are the same amount. This does not use the distance to the moon at all. It only uses the angular size of the moon. So don't be, and it also doesn't use the actual diameter of the moon. So no specific information about the distance or size of the moon are included in this, just the angular size of the moon. Which is 0.52 degrees. So here is the simultaneous tracks that both Astronomy Live and Reds recorded as it went across the moon. One of them was a P900 or P1000, and the other was Astronomy Live's telescope with a camera on it. Then they measured the actual height in pixels of the moon, and then measured the height in pixels of the gap between the two tracks. And then they get a ratio from that, right? 962 pixels tall, 224 or 224 pixels between the tracks, giving 4.29. And that 4.29, then they plug in, and there's no screen or no screen for it, but they take 0.52, the angular size of the moon, and divide by 4.29 to get this. Then outputs the degrees between the tracks. So that's this A equals 0.1212. So if you do the math yourself, you'll find I confirmed that myself. 0.1212 is the angular size between these two tracks. That's what that number is. Then they got the distance between them. This is the Google Maps that shows the distance between their two locations, 1.11 kilometers. And then you can create a triangle with that. Now this isn't the height yet. This is the distance to the ISS of the midpoint of their base there. So they cut the triangle in half. The 0.1212 turns into 0.0606. They know their baseline is 1.11 kilometers. They cut that in half to get 0.555 kilometers. And there's all the numbers. That gives use the trigonometry here is what you need to use. That gets the distance to the ISS from their location of 524.73 kilometers. Now that's the distance from the ISS.
And that's with no no spherical mathematics included as far as adding the curve between the two people. Or
Correct.
anything like that.
There's no curve between the two people involved. I'll show that. This is just the picture, right? So the
So it's just a short
distance,
distance.
yeah, the distance they did is 1.1 kilometers. So the chord distance versus the distance, the arc distance is going to be very nominal. It won't change the output much, but certainly anybody that was interested could do a different, right? This Google Maps uses the Haversine formula, so this is definitely the curve, and so somebody could do a chord distance if they wanted to. So it's
Okay.
it's gonna be buried 4 digits deep probably.
Can you bring back the image of both them crossing the moon for me? I just wanted to see. Did it look like a angular size difference there? Quite a big one from the one on the right versus left.
The angular size of, yes. So this was 2 different cameras.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if one of them is almost half the size of the craft itself, how could you compare pixels and compare distances? I don't understand why the moon.
They're not significantly different in size. It's that one has a different frame rate, and I think that they're closer together. So maybe the ones on the left look smaller because of their proximity to each other.
Possibly.
So, but yeah, I mean, we could look at this. I don't think that they're drastically different in size, but it's a good point that we can.
No,
look
and
at.
I'm just trying to think if it's that simple, but that's something I'd be willing to do. Is it help us to have a larger baseline?
Um,
I know we need the ISS to cross the moon for both.
yeah, and yeah, as you get farther away, then you're going to get a smaller stripe across the moon, because it'll be closer to the edges of the moon.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, it can increase precision a bit. So, yeah.
And then you're not taking the distance to the moon you just are taking the fact that it's a certain angular size.
Yeah, it's 0.52 degrees. Now, yeah, and you can measure it yourself. And Reds makes a point in the video that Astronomy Live shows in a different video how to measure the angular size of the moon. So there's techniques to do that. You can look it up if somebody didn't trust this number, they can confirm it themselves as well. And like I said, Astronomy Live did that, but didn't want to get into it for this particular talk. So anyway, so
write that one down. I will check into that and see if I can replicate that.
All right. There's just a couple more. I don't want to get too far into this before. I don't know how. I don't see the timer, so
it ended, but I'll give you another.
I'm almost done. All right. So the distance from there, and it's from the midpoint between them, is 524 kilometers. So then you need to get the height of it. So this is off of the telescope that Astronomy Live was using. It was at an angle of 53 degrees. So he turned off the tracker, the mount, as soon as the ISS passed. So it stopped moving the telescope, so that he was able to measure this 53 degrees. So then this is the actual like altitude calculation, right? And he's using a flat baseline here. Now he does also do it with a curved baseline, and so you can do it with both of them, and it's going to make a difference of a 3-4 digits deep in the calculation. But you certainly can compare the two to see if it makes a difference that matters. And I've looked at it; it does not, but I don't have those numbers in here. Anyway, so we have the distance to it, we have the angle to it, and so this is just, again, trigonometry, SOHCAHTOA. This gives you the altitude when you take the 524 kilometers times the sine of 53 degrees. You solve for the opposite side there, and that gives 419 kilometers high. So this did not use anything from trusted from somebody. This was confirmed personally. The size of the moon in angular size was the only thing related to the size of the moon used, and of course that can be done yourself as well. So there you go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, as far as seeing both the sun transit and moon transit, something is crossing it. And whether or not it would calculate out to what they said, I would expect that pretty much. I will just bring up this real quick. So, in one of your videos, or I'm sorry, one of the links on your page here, you have. Oh shoot, is this thing not going to work? I'll just have to do it like this. Move it over there. You won't be able to see you for a second.
Are you
So,
gonna share something?
yeah, just real quick, but I can't
Okay,
figure out where the screen is.
I'll stop my share.
Yeah, please. Just so I wanted to show you this. This is from your site, right? You said, thanks, Jaren. Good old Bryant Myers. Guest made this image, which is like really dumb. I finally saw it. Thanks, Jaren. It's like, this is what people think is funny. But I don't find the humor in it. Because it's me really actually going out and doing something that people always say, you don't do. Oh, why do you hide these videos? Why do you? I've never done any of that. I got 2 strikes on both my channels from Bart Cybrell, and I had a choice to make: either leave all my videos up and take a chance at losing the channel that I spent 7 years building, or take down all my videos, wait the 2 or whatever it ended up being 90 days, and then start loading videos again, and at least keep the channel and keep the sub count. So that's what I chose to do. But then all I get from now is people saying, "Oh, you deleted his ISS footage. That's dumb. Why would I ever post it? Why would I post it and then delete it? Why not just never tell you that I did it?" But again, people are they like project or something, I guess, because clearly there was no ill intent. It was on my channel for years.
Could you scroll that again? You weren't on it wasn't on screen when there it is.
Yeah, so there's this one. And I don't know who made this little fake thing. That's not mine. But one thing I thought was funny is that up here you put, Jaren recorded a video of the ISS passing in front of the moon, confirming that it is orbiting the Earth. So is that really confirmation?
Well, you'd maybe need another couple things to confirm that it's orbiting the Earth, but
Right. So I mean, this is the problem is that it's when you're going to post this and people are going to read this and they're going to say, "Oh, Jaren, you confirmed it." Well, no, there's videos of planes crossing. Here's a video of a plane crossing them. Now, did this confirm that the plane is in orbit of the Earth, or did it confirm that a plane flew in front of the moon? So all that I've confirmed is that something that they call the ISS that seems to be shaped like it is crossing the moon at the time that they say. Now, I've told people, because people always say, "Oh, well, how do you know everybody else is doing it? How do you know everybody else is seeing the same thing?" I say you don't need to go further than just yourself doing it, because as long as you don't tell other people that you are doing it, and you go to transitfinder.com and you put in, wherever you want to go, it can not even be near your house, go wherever you want, and you go out to that place at that time and you watch it cross, then you can, by de facto, assume that anybody else near you, the people after you, the people before you, could all have done the same thing. So something seems to be crossing the moon in some when they say. Again, is it happening over water and all these other things? I don't know. We can't verify that. Could just be. But again, I'm skeptical of these things because I do think it's a deception. So I look at everything. I don't just accept. That wouldn't be the way to uncover deception. Would be to, there it is. It's exactly as they predicted, and therefore it must be true. Well, no. If it's a deception, then you would expect that. You should expect it to be what they want you to confirm with it, not. I don't know, if you put out, I don't know how to explain it. I always talk about it being Christmas cookies for Santa, this is what Globers fall for, is that when you put out cookies for Santa, the kid sees the cookies go out, the kid goes to bed, he wakes up the next morning, and the cookies have been eaten. And therefore, in his mind, he says, well, that means that Santa's real. And this is what Globers do, is they're given the answers to these questions. They're given like numbers to plug into formulas. And then they're like, oh, when I plug these numbers in, look at it, it comes out to exactly what we expect. Yeah, that's not evidence of anything. That's cookies for Santa.
But it's more than that, though. It's not just, this isn't simplistic like cookies, right? These are things that somebody that is not NASA took data from NASA, said, well, if NASA is correct, then we must see the ISS on this date in this location, right? The Transit Finder isn't a NASA website. They're just taking the data that NASA publishes about it, right?
Correct. Yes.
So and then when you say, well, here's where it's going to be, then somebody goes and says, well, I'm going to go grab the orbital mechanics application, and I'm going to say, well, where will the ISS be according to that data? And according to orbital mechanics, it will be here. All right, well, let's go confirm it. Well, there's your science. You
So
you
you don't
have a
have any.
hypothesis, you test your hypothesis. If it matches observation, then it's confirmed. And if it doesn't match observations, then it's disconfirmed.
Right. And well, we can get into that later, but and should be thrown away, really, right? Not just made placeholders for and
Well,
then
all right. So when something's disconfirmed, there's a whole lot of different ways that you can respond to it, right?
sure.
And things are valid and things are invalid in kind of how you might do it. But you definitely you're going to circle back and you say, well, my hypothesis was wrong. The things that we thought were going to be the case were not the case. So what's wrong about it? Well, let's take some of the data that we collected before and feed that back into our understanding and improve on our understanding. All right, we can form a new hypothesis and go back around.
So how would you ever falsify the globe if anytime something is put forward that it's just kind of we can cover up, we can put some math in there, we can put some placeholders, we can call things dark energy, dark matter, we can assign things weights to neutron stars. A teaspoon of neutron star weighs 21 billion pounds.
But
Like,
that's not the globe. So how could
well,
you
it's all part of the
falsify the
same
globe,
thing.
right?
Well, yeah,
So
but I mean, all that stuff is just made up. How do you think they figured out the weight of a neutron star? It's what needs to work in their mathematics for their story to work.
it's physics. They didn't
There's
just
no physics of neutron stars, McToon. Come on.
Yeah,
What is the
there is.
physics of What do you mean? Who's gone out and tested a neutron star?
You don't have to go out and test it to have
Oh,
the
so it's physics
behind
is
it.
just made up stuff in the sky?
No, it's not.
Then what is it?
People develop an understanding of how things work, of how the physics of particles work and high energy particles. And
It's such a belief that, yes, I know people go to school and learn what a neutron star is, but nobody knows what a neutron star is. It's just what needs to be for their mathematics to work.
yeah, it's a hypothesis, and and they do things to test it.
Like
and and
How can they
if
test the
there's
weight?
new information, then they'll adjust it if it doesn't match. So how do they do? Well, all right, neutron star. I'm not an astrophysicist. That's not my speciality. But if you want to talk about how do you falsify the globe, I can do that.
Okay.
Right. So Professor Parks is in the chat. If you want to talk about neutron stars, he might be a better person to ask about how they test a hypothesis for neutron stars. But you asked, how can we falsify the globe? And there's
Right.
definitely ways that we can falsify the globe. Right. If the distances between lines of longitude south of the equator increase instead of decrease, that would falsify the globe. If
Right,
things
but that
are
wouldn't make any
not
sense. That's not longitude and latitude. That's not how they work, right? So that wouldn't.
well,
would that ever be the case?
hold on. I'm giving you a list of ways that we could falsify.
That's what you just gave me as a pretend thing that would never happen because the globe describes what the longitude and latitude is. So how would they get bigger after the equator? That doesn't then no longer is a globe. Therefore, what do you mean? I mean that
Yeah, that
I
would
want real
falsify it.
examples. Yeah, but the globe has been designed with those longitude and latitude. And by the way, you know those maps had longitude and latitude in the 1500s, 1600s. It's funny that you all these people talk about, oh, we went out and we did these surveys and we surveyed this land, we surveyed the triangles and
No,
but we knew
latitude, longitude is something that you don't even need to do anything to say, well, on a sphere, we can do the spherical trigonometry, spherical geometry for it. You don't need to actually go anywhere to say, well, a sphere will have this. It's how the
way a
geometry
sphere
works.
Right. Okay. That's what I was saying. That was my point. But we're told like this story that they went out and did all these crazy measurements and they, did these, the great, what do they call it? The, what's the one you always refer to?
The transcontinental triangulation in America, arc of the parallel.
Yes. Right. I mean, we're told this story like as if it's, what were they even doing? They already knew longitude, latitude. If they wanted to know the distances between two places, they already knew it. They already had that.
So
they already had that information.
No, they didn't. They didn't have the linear distance between them. They had the angular distance between them. So all right, I have to adjust something here. Somebody's saying this. I need to update my slow mode. It's too fast.
Okay, and then
all right. So
another thing.
Let me give you at least one more for falsifying. I'll go back to early Aristotle. Is attributed, it may not be him, but Pliny, I think Pliny the Elder is the one that gave him credit for it. was said that things get obstructed bottom up as they are farther away. Now, whether or not Aristotle could actually do that, I don't know, but I can, because I've done that with this. I've seen things far away be obstructed bottom up, and that's what the globe predicts. If things were not obstructed bottom up with increasing distance, then that would be a problem, and so it's been confirmed that way instead of disconfirmed. So there's a second one, just to.
And I've heard you say before too, which I think is kind of disingenuous, that you can't imagine a mechanism by which things would disappear bottom up on a flat Earth, when it's been shown, it's been talked about a million times. Even today, driving from my home down south here in LA, I saw these distant mountains. I don't know which mountains they were, very far in the distance. And I told my wife, I said, look at those mountains themselves are disappearing bottom first. And what's crazy about that is that the bottom is closer to us than the top of those mountains, right? You're going to have an angle going off, but it's just because of the way the atmosphere works. Where am I looking through the most amount of atmosphere? Down low. Where am I looking at the least amount? The top of the mountain. So it makes totally sense that you would start to lose the bottom. Another thing I saw you say the other day in one of your videos, you were showing an eye chart and you were going on and on. I thought you were so off base. You were like, oh, well, flat Earth belief is that eventually these letters will disappear. And you're like, but they don't disappear. They just get smaller. But you're like, no, our position is that eventually those letters would disappear, as they would. If you went down more and more rows, where would the letters be?
Why did they disappear?
Because they got too small to see. You were showing the chart right there. And you said, you pretended like, oh, the globe belief is that these letters will just get tiny and then they'll stop. And you're like, but flat Earth thinks that they'll get invisible. Well, they would.
They wouldn't get invisible.
What do you mean? If you go show the eye chart again, as you go down and they get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, eventually they would disappear.
The really small ones, but my chart, see, my chart was not showing that. And my point of that, if people may not remember, was that if you look at a building, the building, it's a vertical building, and the entirety of the building is almost nearly all the same distance from you, though the top is slightly farther away from you than the midpoint, the same elevation as you. But the part below you, so if you're looking at a building, like I did with this camera here, looked at a building that was 30 miles away, I think, I don't know how many exactly miles, and you only saw a portion of the building. So let's say of a 30 floor building, I saw floor 15 and nothing below it.
You saw nothing. What was it?
I didn't count. It was blocked by the water. So there's water and then building. So the amount of atmosphere at that intersection between floor 14 and 15 isn't so much thicker that instead of the blurred portion of the building with slightly more blur than level 15, there's water, just like water with crisp edges to the waves. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we see, instead of, if it was more atmosphere, we would just see more blur. And if it was, then floor 13 would be even more blur, right?
Now, rarely, I mean, doing it over water, I've seen that, but I rarely do I see anything over land kind of show anything like that. But I guess it would be very difficult to find.
You don't know the topography of the land. It's
right. Which would be interesting to see, because I do think what's happening is, in that particular case, if you picture, and I've shown this before with a magnifying glass, that I laid down basically a blanket on the floor, blue blanket for, maybe it was 8 feet. And at the end of the 8-foot blanket, I put a building, just a little cardboard building with like 6 windows. And then I put a magnifying glass down in front of my eyes at the edge of the water, looking at the far distant building. And the building is halfway covered with the blanket, because the magnifying glass is magnifying what's right behind it, which is the water.
You did Skiba's. You did Skiba's thing. You use the magnifying glass that bends light the opposite direction that it does in the atmosphere. You need to use the top half of the magnifying glass. So cut the magnifying glass in half and then put it down in front of you. That's what you need to do. I did it. I haven't done the video yet, but I did it. I bought Skiba's thing.
His kit, so did I.
And I have it back on the floor behind me. I have in my kitchen table, it has leaves, and so I actually opened up a little gap, and then I put the lens so that it's halfway, right? Because there's enough
You
of a
did that.
gap.
Why? Because you want the atmosphere to bend light which way?
The atmosphere bends light down, and so the top half of a lens, as you're looking at it, will bend light down. The bottom half will bend it up.
Okay.
So
wait,
I dropped it down so that the lens would do an analog of what the atmosphere would do. It will bend light
so
down.
if light bends, if the atmosphere bends light down, but you're saying bending light down makes it appear higher.
Yeah.
That's your position there as far as that goes. So what about when I showed looking through a tank of water and showed that it actually is dropping? Why do we see that? Why when we show a pencil, if I were to take a pencil and put it in a glass of water, you would see it lower?
Well, the curved front of the glass is a whole different thing. It's not the analog to the air. You need to set up something that's an analog to the air.
Okay, so if we got a flat glass, it would do that.
No, you need the gradient. The water isn't really at a gradient. You tried this yourself, right? You got a tank, but we didn't quite get it.
So let me ask you this though.
Set
Again,
up right,
so like,
right?
I wanted to talk about the Stephen Hawking documentary just real quick on one particular point. Is that they were so gross, and I mean, there's no way Stephen Hawking, the real Stephen Hawking, was involved in that at all. It was so grossly done that either the man is incompetent or an invalid, and they have somebody else speak for him. Because what the tests that they did were not tests that any scientific-minded person would ever allow or show or want their name attached to at all. They actually said that a helicopter hid behind the curvature of the Earth at 6 miles, and they did they didn't even like show you the calculations, but it's hilarious because at 6 miles the curvature formula calls for exactly 24 feet. And so they get in this helicopter and they lower down, and the guys with the telescope, and he says, "I can't see you. Are you guys still flying?" They're like, "Yeah, we're still in the air." And then they land, and then they take off again. And he's like, "Okay, stop. I'll tell you when to stop when I see you." And then he says, "Stop. Okay, I see you. What height are you at?" And the guy looks at his altimeter and says 24 feet. It's hilarious because what they forgot is the fact that the guy with the telescope is higher than the ground level. So actually, he's about 3.5 foot tall. So the amount of curvature over 6 miles is like 8 feet. So did a helicopter hide behind 8 feet of water? It's impossible that a helicopter would ever hide behind any water at 6 miles. The fact that anybody believes that is just a testament to how truly
all right,
out of it people are.
That's a documentary. You know that.
Well, it's a documentary.
It's not. It's not a peer-reviewed, published scientific experiment, right? So it sounds like
why lie?
It sounds like your issue is, and I agree with you, is that it should have been done more rigorously.
It's just if you have to tell a lie. For instance, let's just go to Behind the Curve. They had to
hold on. I have to have a drink first. Just a second.
I'm surprised it's not spelled a different way, to be honest with you.
It's my ball mason jar.
Yes, you're a big fan of balls. I got you. All right. So with the Behind the Curve, now this might only be true for me alone, is that Behind the Curve is one of the biggest evidences for me to go, oh shit. If you're going to do a video about, or you're going to do a documentary about the globe, flat Earth, and you have to lie, you have to put an out of sequence experiment at the end, and you have to make it look like something. And again, for people who don't know, I went to a lawyer and said, "Hey, do I have a case here?" And he took all the text messages and everything. And he said, "Well, you would if they would have made one mistake, which was saying at any point that you proved curve. Do you have any evidence of them anywhere saying that?" Mm-hmm. No. Is the scene that they showed at the end, is it an actual scene where you actually said that in real? Yes. You have no case, right? He said they're smart enough to know that they can't have done that and then said in interviews or other places, well, he did prove this because now they've placed that on me, and I could go back and ask for the footage showing that, no, there was observations before and after. And I've actually showed the email from the producer who says, oh, there were many observations. There was ones before that showed both flat and curved, and ones after that showed, but there was only one that showed just a curve. Well, what does she mean by that? That we're doing observations of each different view. So what do you mean there's, okay, well then why not take the one that showed flat and just say, oh, there was only one that just showed flat, and then forget about the others, which is basically what they did. They took the others out of the video. And then here's why I think that's so funny. I think it's more indicative of Globers being so hypocritical, right? So if I were to come forward and say, hey, I did this observation across 16 miles and I saw no curve, and here's the flag. Immediately, every Glober would come at me and they would start demanding. Oh, they want to know the temperature gradient. They want to know the refractive index. They want to know what the weather was like. They want me to do what weather at different heights, everything. But if I say the word interesting, that nobody asks a question. Jaren proved curve. So this is a absolute. It just shows me. It's like, oh, so you guys are not looking for evidence. You'll call anything evidence. Me saying interesting in a hit piece movie, you'll call that evidence. But when we bring forward anything, we can go on and on about sun flashes, mirror flashes, and nobody will listen because they want to know every fact that goes along with it, rather than just recognize the fact that you can't see mirror flashes if there's a mound of water in between you. But nobody will listen to that, and this is the problem. We'll never get anywhere. We'll never uncover anything. We'll never because you guys are protecting
Well, all right,
the very people we're calling liars.
Jaren, I started with this is like the response to it, but the step-by-step measurements of the height of the ISS. Right, that's what this is the discussion to follow that.
Oh, sorry, we still on that.
It's gotten kind of long, I know, but so you can't say we're never going to make progress. It's been done, right? Somebody did the actual analysis of it, and I did, I did this video a while ago. It's the one I took down at your request because I got a few things wrong about you. But in that video, I point to the video that Reds did where he measured the height of the ISS. So, and I know you can't do it right now. It's asking too much to say, look at it right now live.
No, but that's something I will look at. And because sometimes I need to think about something too in a, not just in a spur of the moment, kind of make sure that all the pieces that are coming in are not derived, that are not set up for us in a way that, that, because this is what I find Globers do all the time, is that they'll make it seem like something works. But then when you actually go look at it, you're like, well, wait a second. Like I get lost all the time when I try and, who came up with the distance of the moon? Who came up with the distance of the sun? Every Glober has got a different answer. They don't get it. They don't get the
for who did it,
who or when or what or Venus.
But
Venus,
but
they
none
actually
of that matters. You can measure.
Matter.
You can measure it yourself and
Measure
see
the
if it's
distance
even
to the sun?
right.
How would you measure the distance to the sun?
Reds just did it last week.
Okay, with what? With himself?
What's that?
With him and another person? What do you mean?
Yeah, him and Astronomy Live
Okay.
did it. He drove from where he lives in Florida to Colorado so that him and Astronomy Live could simultaneously see Mars. They use Mars to do it. It's way out of scope for this conversation.
Now you're using Kepler's laws, and so these things didn't even exist back in the day. I'm talking about from an originating position.
Say it's all nothing. Say all of the history is nothing. You can just go measure it yourself. So ignore everything. Ignore any historical measurement of the distance to the sun. The distance to the sun. Ignore all of that and do it yourself.
How?
That's the invitation.
Okay, that's great. So, you keep saying that now because your audience is going to hear you, and then they all go, "Yeah, just do it." But then when we confront them and ask them how, none of them know how. So I'm asking you.
Reds did a step-by-step.
I don't care how Red did. I'm asking you how. I'm asking you. You're the one here claiming that we can all do it. Anybody can do it. It's a second grade math.
Yes.
So how?
So it's out. We don't have time to go over it right now. We have 15 minutes until this is done.
Okay. So
I will say, just like I did go over the step-by-step of how you can measure the height of the ISS.
I saw
and
that.
If you want, we could go over a step-by-step how you can measure the distance to the sun using that same technique that Reds did, or some other technique, things that people could do themselves. Right. So okay. Anyway, we only have 15 minutes.
The ISS, you're saying the same technique that they used for the ISS, but that didn't determine the distance of the moon. It determined the distance of the.
No,
ISS.
it's not the same technique as the ISS.
I thought it's okay.
Trigonometry is involved. But...
So I know we don't have a lot of time, and we could do this again. I would like to have a little better time. I had some things I wanted to line up, and then today went to hell. But actually, if you got to look at where I'm at, I'm ecstatic. But what about left-right curvature squishing photos? Will you admit now that is not evidence of anything and should be removed from your website?
No, no. I think
No.
it's you're talking about the one from Ibiza specifically that Rory did, right?
I'm talking about any person that takes a photograph of anything and then condenses it right to left. Here's what you have to remember is if there's any change, for instance, let's say you're at pixel 100 high on the left with the horizon line, and you're at pixel 103 high on the right.
Yeah.
When you condense that, you create a curve because it can't get from the, yes,
It does. It doesn't create a curve. It creates a diagonal line,
which, okay, so let's say that there's
a
I think it
straight
would create a
diagonal
curve.
line.
No, I don't think so. I can do it real quick and just see. But if you're talking about just what pixel change you want, 3 pixels? Where's my? I don't think that that's the case. And we've shown before that it can do both, right? So, and it's because you'll never take a picture straight on. And if you did, then you would have the same pixel on the left and right. It can't be different. How would it be different?
So
And then when you condensed it, like that's the worst thing to me that why this keeps, this is one of the things I'm talking about. Why would this keep being an issue? Why can't
okay,
we as
do it.
go ahead.
You can do it now. You're fast at this.
Okay.
Create a thing in what do you use? Paint something.
It's called real world paint, but for some reason
Okay.
it's just
So
flashing.
create a line that's one side, 3 pixels higher than the other, and then do a left to right compression. But make that line straight between them, and see if that creates a curved line or a straight line when you compress them.
Oops, sorry, I lost you here. What did you say to do?
So make a straight line across your.
Hold on, something's going on with my computer here.
Yeah, I don't see what your program is.
For some reason, it won't bring you up. It's in the taskbar, but let's see here. Stream Deck is there. Okay. I don't know where you went. I'm not sharing my screen. Zoom.
I see your desktop.
Yeah, and I'm clicking on Zoom. It's just and this is all screwed up because I'm not at home. So this is my calculator. If I open that, that opens. Okay, and then if I go here to Zoom, I just click on it. Nothing happens. And I'm minimizing OBS, minimize Telegram, minimize Stream Deck. I don't know where it is. Let's see here. Why would I lose your Zoom? Let me try this.
You had something up before.
Yeah, I had you up. It's just not coming up now. There's like not.
Okay.
Let me try this Zoom here. Let me just go here and try it again. Just open it again. Oh wait, I'm the person who started the account. That won't work. I was gonna say I'll just make you if I have to.
People like your nebula next to a spherical planet desktop.
Yeah, it's pretty, huh? Oh, don't get me wrong. I mean, space is fake, but it's pretty. When you get these, data visualization artists who take black and white basic.
All right, don't get distracted by me. Sorry.
No, so I'm gonna real quick. I'm just gonna duck out of this just to get that zoom back. Let me see. Right, tune and why did it say join? It's like okay, there you are. That's so weird. I hit join. I was obviously talking to you. Obviously,
all right.
join. Okay, so let me bring OBS back up. All right, now we got that. So now let me see if we can get this up. Close window. What happened? Am I there?
No, there's 2 of me on my screen
Why is that?
because I'm presenting what you're sending me.
Oh, I'm just trying to open this paint thing program, and it will not open. I don't know why that is. It's just not working today. Just everything doesn't go anywhere unless I wonder. Oh, you know what it might be? It might be because I usually have 3 monitors, and I only have 2 here. I wonder if it's
Slumming with 2 monitors. Oh.
I know. I don't know why it just flashes when I click this. All right. Anyway, so if I've shown people before on my show, and I've shown people on your website itself.
Wait, you can't get the program.
Hold on, let me see if I can get it to come up. Now I've got 2 of them open on the taskbar, but they just don't show anywhere. Let me try and open an image from your website. We'll try that. So let's go
No, just create a blank document in
I tried that, and when I open the program, it's just nothing's opening. But if I try and open like an image, sometimes it'll open from there. Where is that at on your homepage, right? And it says left, right curvature somewhere, left, right
Yeah.
curvature. So, but you recognize that those cannot be a correct test unless you were to go in and make sure that the pixel height of the left and right are correct.
No, I don't.
Identical.
It's not a test of level. It's a test of straight or not.
Right, but if something is, if you were to take a picture of the horizon and it was straight, but you slanted it,
It'd still
right,
be
'cause the
straight.
picture slanted.
Yeah, it'd still be straight.
How, I don't know how you.
A diagonal line is straight. It's not curved.
Didn't you try this? Didn't you see your kitchen table, your chandelier, all those things were curved? How
That was with my camera on my phone, and that was because of the pixel alignment actually. And
Is that what I just said?
it was quite, to borrow a term, interesting that the pixel alignment in a new phone, because there's so many pixels, it's a bit jaggedy versus an older phone, because Rory was using like an iPhone 4, I think. The pixels are much larger and they don't have that problem. But a higher end camera, this is a fine camera for that. I intend to test it with this as well, and hopefully don't have the
Okay, so
the
do you have
pixel
tile? Do you have
alignment.
tile floors?
All right.
Do you have
Well-
tile floor in your house?
No,
No tile floors.
I do not.
Okay, so anybody who's watching this right now, take a photograph of your tile floors, which are straight lines, and run that to an image processor and then squish it, and you'll notice that all of a sudden your entire floor is curved. So that alone should tell you, oh, we cannot use this for
So-
evidence. I've already shown. Go
Right.
ahead.
The point is to
The point is if
The-
you
the
can
reason-
take a
hold on,
photograph of a
let me-
horizontal line. Hold on. If you can take a picture of a horizontal line, and then when squishing it, it becomes non-horizontal, then therefore you can never use that as evidence, because I just showed that a horizontal line produces the same effect.
but I'm not trying to use a horizontal line. I'm trying to use a straight line. So a diagonal line can be straight, right?
Okay.
So the straight edges, and if you have a problem, there's other problems you might point to in there, but if you take a straight edge in a picture and you compress it, you know in reality, in meat space, that straight edge is straight, right? So tiles might be okay, but I used a 4-foot level, which is designed to be specifically straight. So I know that the 4-foot level is straight. And when I brought it into the image is Photoshop, that straight line or that straight level was jaggedy up and down, and that told me that the actual pixels in the CCD of the camera were not all physically in line with each other. If you didn't have that problem, and then you took a picture of a straight edge and you compressed it and you saw that that straight edge was then curved, then you know that probably it's something to do with the lens. But if
Right,
you
which we've
compress
shown
it
before, because-
and it's still straight, then you can be certain that the lens didn't add anything and whatever other things didn't add anything. A straight
The
line
only way that
remains
would
straight.
ever happen, the only way you would ever see a straight line is if the item that you're taking a picture of is horizontal and has a starting and ending pixel the same.
Well, I don't know why you think it matters that it has to be horizontal versus diagonal. A diagonal straight line is still straight, right?
I'd have to see it. I've never seen a picture condensed and then the resulting image perfectly horizontal, perfectly diagonal. You're talking about 1 pixel over, 1 pixel up, 1 pixel over, 1 pixel up, 1 pixel
Well, no,
over.
that's just 45. That's not perfectly. I mean, any angle. But I think that probably is something that you and I can test, right? I'll get that same level. I'll use the P1000. I'll get some photos of it, and we'll see if
Okay,
if
because that's
we
the
can
kind of
do
thing I
it.
think if we can reach a conclusion where, okay, no longer can that be used, then we're getting somewhere. Then we start to go, okay, let's look for evidence that we
Well,
can
all right.
actually.
And from you,
Okay.
if I get a picture of it and it's still straight, can I use it?
You're talking about.
You're trapping yourself if you agree to it.
Well,
you know.
are you going to, I mean, I have to trust you to not just go and keep taking pictures until you find 1 out of 1,000 that does what you want it to do.
I mean, you can do it too. You have
I
a
don't want to do that. I'm
P1000.
not into doing that. I'm into simply, I'm looking here at your pictures here and looking at these ones. Look at, this is curved. Why is this curved?
Why is
Why,
what
why
curved?
is this curved up?
Because it's
Right?
far. Yeah, it's outside the. So he specifically was using the center of frame because the center frame has the least distortion. And he had,
What center
if you
frame?
looked at his website, or his what did he? No, it wasn't a website. It was a Google
Can't we
Images
agree
cache.
though? Can we agree that this is not evidence of anything?
No,
Period. What? Why not? Why? You're looking at things that are straight that we know are straight. The level is straight, but yet it curves.
the center
So
part of the level is not.
you mean here?
Yeah, the right side. You look at the right side there, the top right. You can see that
Here?
it scoots. No, the bottom part of that stripe there.
What
No,
stripe?
the top stripe, top
This
section. Yep, and then the bottom right of that section. It other side. There you go.
Here?
Up a little,
Okay.
up a little right, to the right a little. There you go, right there. That curves up a little. You see that, right? Right on that bottom edge, that does
Okay.
curve up a little. And so that area is going to be a little bit more distorted, but the rest of it,
So why do you think it's distorted?
that's probably lens.
Well, yeah, not probably. What else would it be?
Yeah, I don't know anything else that it could be. Yeah.
Right. So I mean,
But
so
Jaren, like you, I've been I couch all my words. Right? Probably lens means I think it's very much likely to be lens, but I'm not certain enough to say it because I didn't look into it enough. So
yeah, I mean, to me, it's these things are obvious. We should be able to move past them and at least say, because I mean, again, I've already shown easily when Sean and Red's Rhetoric did that, when they took a drone up and then took a picture of the horizon, which is an apparent position, which is hilarious that why would we ever, it's like, how is that scientific? You've got Globers out there saying like, let's measure this against the horizon, against an apparent position. Oh, this is good. This is great science that we're doing here, measuring things against apparent positions that we know are not physical. Well,
Jaren,
you guys believe they're physical.
I look, I didn't bring that up. I know you want to address it to them, but they're not here.
No.
Right.
Well,
And you
what do you mean you
definitely
didn't
are
bring it
free to bring up stuff on my website. But I don't have that on my website, do I?
no, but you have this one, which is probably worse because of the setup with rocks underneath it and the, it's like, what the hell is going on there? And then the other one, I'm just reading right here.
The one that Tommy Gronwald
But
did?
feel free to download the original photograph and do your own compression. Better yet, count the pixels from straight edge to the horizon and plot on a graph. Well, we did show on my channel that if you draw a straight line across, that it's like 6 pixels higher on the right. So of course you're going to get curvature when you squish it.
On what? Which one is this? This is the Tommy Gronwald one?
The second image, right? And then you said, of course, no flat earther will accept this. It violates their pre-selected outcome. They will claim they don't see the curve, attempt to change the subject, start calling names, run away, make accusations of tampering. None of that is anything I did. All I'm saying is that
I appreciate that, Jared.
okay, well, here's the easiest way to do it. Take an image processor on your screen and just do a straight line across. Make it a box halfway through, right? And then take a photograph with your camera of the, this computer screen is not flat. This one is. So if you took a picture of it, you will see that
Well,
they
I
always
mean, I can do better than that. I have a straight edge and I have the P1000. So I'm going to do that. Let's table
okay,
that.
but technically, could a straight edge be bent? Could be. You know,
By definition, a straight edge cannot be bent.
well, give me one and I'll show you.
But well, then it's no longer straight.
Okay, we'll call it an angle.
It's
Yeah,
a curved edge.
Carpenter square. Yeah.
Yeah, but a level, yes, somebody could, bend a level. They could abuse it and make
But
carpenters
this image
cry.
here, you've seen me show that this, I mean, we can tell that if you zoom in here, that by just going over here and looking at the distance between, I'm looking at this light blue. So we're looking at the distance between the, oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Distance between the light blue and like my mouse, my little, if you can see this little, can you see that? Yeah. It fits perfectly right in between there, right? So if we put it right there, you can see it fits perfectly in the light blue. Now, if we move it to the right side and we see that it doesn't fit perfectly now, that it's got extra space on the top and bottom. So right away, we know just by looking at this, we can peel back and say, okay, well, clearly this side is higher than this side, right? And I guess your claim is that this is a straight line.
Jaren, we went over this already.
Okay.
A diagonal line can be straight. It doesn't have to be.
So explain to me then, what
strictly
are you
left or
trying
right.
to show here? Then you're trying to show that the diagonal line is causing curve. What? I don't get it.
No, this is showing that the known straight edge in meat space, right, and that's above and below the horizon. The known straight edge when you compress it remains straight except for the very far right side on the top. So you could say, all right, we're gonna not look at that because it's not in good, it's outside the control. It's not well controlled. Right?
Okay,
But
so
but the
just
bottom
understand
part,
real quick. This right here, you're saying
Yeah.
this is a diagonal line.
no, I'm saying that's a curve.
Okay.
The
But you're telling me
diagonal
this curve
line,
is
the
left.
diagonal line is the what the straight edge makes on the screen because the camera wasn't perfectly
Where?
horizontal.
Which one? Where is there?
So the bottom. So start on the bottom straight edge on the top edge closest to the horizon.
Bottom
The
straight.
bottom
edge.
left
Bottom left here.
closest to the horizon.
Okay.
Up a little more. Keep going. Keep going up. Up, up, up. A little more.
These are the bottom.
Is
Okay.
that red? All right. What color is that? Is it red?
Yes.
Okay, so the red part, I'm colorblind. So all right. So the left side, right there. On the left side, right there. Well, you
Well, this
gotta
looks
quit
straight.
moving.
This looks straight. So if you went back and
Okay.
looked at the original image, I'm guessing if we were to take, now that we know that this is looks straight, we'd have to measure it. But if I looked at the pixel of here and here, they would be identical. If I-
Well, or they could be diagonal, certainly. But you can have
Wait, hold on.
a
If they're
diagonal
diagonal,
that
then-
is straight.
How would it be straight across on the screen if we?
It's not
squished
straight
it?
across. It's straight. I didn't say straight across. Straight. You can have a diagonal that's straight, right? This is straight and it's also diagonal, right?
I don't know. I'm confused. What good that
But
would do us? Why do we-
is this straight and diagonal?
Sure.
Okay.
You're never going to see that on a
So-
condensed image.
So if this was compressed, then you would expect a straight diagonal to remain straight and a good
Oh, I think that
camera
would
with a
clearly
good
show- That
lens.
would clearly show curve. It would clearly show a Boeing going like the letter N.
And if you did, you'd know that there's something about the lens or the camera that caused it.
Right. So
Right.
when we do that, when we take pictures of tile floor, get marble countertops, straight lines on computer screens, and then they show curve, then we know it's the lens.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to dismiss all evidence that is being called into play that is the squishing of images if we know that horizontal lines create curves.
No. You
Oh,
only
Lord,
need
why?
to
so that
you-
we can find the one time that you can claim that, oh no, well this time it actually is real. I mean, this is ridiculous. Like if we know that evidence cannot stand anymore, because how could you claim something is curved by showing its curve when you condense it or squish it? But if I can show a horizontal line also does the same thing, then that invalidates your evidence.
but you need to do that though.
I've done. What do you mean? I've done it on my show 3 times. I could do
All
it right
All
now.
right.
Stupid.
Let's stop. Let's
Yes,
let's
Danny,
do-
you got things to do.
All right. We have homework to do. We'll do it.
We'll do it
All-
next. We'll do it next Thursday again.
No, I can't next Thursday.
Okay, maybe the Thursday
Um,
after.
No, I'm going on vacation. All right.
You
So
want-
next Thursday is we're preparing to go on a trip and then we're out of town for a week. So it'd have to be, hold on, the 27th is the next Thursday I'm in town.
Okay, and yeah, there's a couple more things at your website I wanted to go over, and then we'll do it the more lengthy one with the questions and answers. I think that'd be fine.
Yeah. All right.
Sound good?
Give me a super chat from your side. You
Oh,
got
do I
somebody poking at me? Find one.
I'll check. I have to go check. I wasn't watching that. Let me see here. Let me go to super chats. And is there any for me? Probably not.
Oh, there's a few.
Oh, you can ask if you want. Let me see what we got here. And I'll be a little bit more organized.
You have
here
to be
once-
terse though. All right.
I'm staying at a house right now that is $20,000 a month to rent. And I'm here. This is just one of the many bedrooms, and the backyard is amazing. And I'm probably going to go swimming. No, I got to do a speaker's corner first.
All right. Magellan. Hold on.
Santa
Magellan says,
Claus, dude.
Jaren, did you know that the spherical Earth model is built into precisely every electronic device that exists from smartwatches to enterprise database servers.
That the what?
The spherical Earth model is built into practically every electronic device that exists.
So that makes
From
it true.
Magellan. I
People
didn't
not
think
understand that you could cook.
he
You could
didn't
cook
say it was
anything
true.
into a device. Well,
Hold on, he didn't say it was true.
great. So they take. Yes, I know that on your iPhone that if you go to the accelerometer, guess what? It says that it's moving 9.8 meters per second squared when it's sitting on your desk. Now you can be
It's
somebody
not
who's
no
so
no
dumb.
9.8 meters per second squared isn't movement, it's acceleration.
Sure. I want to talk to you about that too, because what is momentum? Momentum is the same thing, right?
No, momentum is velocity times mass.
Right. So why can't we call an item falling? Why is that not momentum?
It does have momentum because it's moving.
Right. And it's
Yeah.
gaining speed, so we don't need to call
Its
that
momentum is increasing.
right. So
Yeah.
so how is that? Is that a force?
No, momentum. So for if you, it helps if you look at the units, right? Force
Let's
is
not look at units. Let's just talk about practical conversation. If I drop
no
a ball,
hold on, no. This is very important, super important. Dimensional analysis is incredibly important in physics. It tells us a ton. So acceleration is meters per second squared. Force is kilogram meters per second squared. Momentum is, what did I say, right? It was mass times velocity.
velocity.
So it's kilogram meters per second. It's a totally different, it's not totally different, right? It's kilogram meters per second instead of kilogram meters per second squared. So it's related to force, but it's not the same.
Okay. What did you ask me a question? Or we were going to get into something that I went to.
Well, I gotta go. I gotta get
Okay,
going.
well,
I
here's
got
some
family
questions real quick.
stuff.
Somebody says, "Good to see you, Jaren." That was one. Somebody says, "Are you done scamming people yet?" No, I'm going to continue doing
Wait, who asked you that?
that. I don't know. Patrick Butler.
Patrick, but he's a flurf. He used to be.
Oh,
a
is he?
flurf.
Oh, maybe he's talking to you.
He used. Oh, actually, he used to be a flurf.
Oh,
And
well, there's one of those. besides-
he trolls. He's funny. I like him.
So used to be a flirt. What made him go back to the Globe?
Bring him on your show. He might want to talk to you.
I
What did
just
he?
want it to be better than one photograph like Ranty, who spent 3
he-
years
he
going through
told
all these
me-
observations, telling everybody how flat the Earth was, and then he saw
All right.
one picture and was like, "Now I'm a Glober."
You gotta
That
be
makes sense.
terse. You gotta be terse.
So,
Give me the best super chat there. Give me something. Come on, people.
Maroon 1969 film had HD quality. The Apollo 11 Freemasons who set up the fake moon scenery actually copied this movie a bit. Will you stay asleep? That was the question. And then McToon, do you believe in Santa Claus too? I think that's probably the best one.
Well, there's 4 stages to a man's life.
Okay.
When he believes in Santa Claus,
Mm-hmm.
when he doesn't believe in Santa Claus,
Mm-hmm.
when he is Santa Claus,
Okay.
and when he looks like Santa Claus.
All right.
So I'm in.
You're almost at
I'm-
number 4.
I'm back to
If it
step
wasn't for your
2.
Jimmy Neutron haircut, you'd already be there. So keep that going.
You like that?
I
I cut it myself. It's
as long as you're in your
super-
30s. You're in your 30s, you're good.
13
Oh,
officially.
13. Wow, I thought it was.
Hold on,
almost-
I'm thirsty.
All right, I'm
Again.
gonna let you go. Thanks for waiting for me. Sorry I'm so late, guys. I'll be back with Speaker's Corner here in a second, and I'll show you my awesome abode.
All right,
we'll talk some.
thanks,
later.
Jaren. We'll see you later.
All right.
All right, let me close that out. All right, well, it went okay. It didn't turn into a dumpster fire. I was hoping it would not. I would much rather have a conversation that was decent. He gets into those things, and I expected it. So all right, hold on. I got a few things. I did get to ask him in A if he likes movies about gladiators. I did not get to ask him what he decides is which science to accept and which science to reject. So if you paid attention to him, his angle is very different than other flirfs. I'll give him that. Most flirfs are like, no, that's it, right? If you put some geometry out there, there's like fake, right? Geometry doesn't work like that. Geometry is quite literally real and quite literally works to do things in reality, right? If you need to purchase carpet. You use geometry to do it. So is it real? 100% it's real. So, and if it's wrong, then you would get the wrong amount of carpet and you would find out. So, Lord Illuminous Pooh. Oh, all right. I got that. All right. PhD Tony said, did this guy just call me a liar? Well, he kind of, yeah. I mean, flat earthers tend to say that everybody that says that the earth is not of their agreement is then by definition. So he kind of did. So there it is. Borg Emporia says, if it turns into a dumpus for fire, then it would be an FTFE stream. Yes. I prefer to avoid them. It happens often enough, but I do not seek them out. Many Karen says, flirt critical thinking is the reason Jaren has an audience after his own experiment demonstrated the Earth's a globe. And yeah, exactly. You listen to him talk, and he goes through his whole process, and you can follow the process that he's making. And there's a couple steps along the way where he's wrong, but he won't take them, right? He holds too tight to them. And so I did that. This whole thing did start with the ISS video and his interesting video. And I did an analysis of it because I hadn't seen, there had been a couple people years ago, but I hadn't seen anything recently. It was a good analysis of his actual, measurement, right? If you watch the movie, it's wrong in the movie, and it's Jaren saying it, right? He said if it's 17 and a half feet, then it's flat, and if it's 22 and a half feet, then it's a sphere. But he's wrong because he did the math wrong, and I went through that in the video. And if you go to my website, mctoon.net/interesting, you can find it there. I go through all the math. So if that math is, if I did the math wrong, I want to know about it. In fact, I had a couple small errors in there that people sent to me and I fixed, and I even note that I fixed them. So, so after his own experiment demonstrated the Earth's a globe, how, yeah. So his answer is, because he thinks 22 and a half is the correct number. It's the wrong number. The correct number is 19 and a half. And he uses that number 19 and a half. It's 19 and a half to 20. Because Enrique was held to the camera at 17 and a half feet, which was a little lower than this, right? And then Jaren said, hold it up high above your head. And he put it up above his head and you saw it. Now, how high of a gap is this from chest height or whatever height he had it to above his head? Jaren's number is 19 and a half feet. He says that's 2 feet from where it was to where it was above his head. When I do the analysis, I get 19 and a half feet is the correct amount for the globe for where you should see that with some refraction. So he just doesn't get the math. And I want to give grace to people that are like, oh, I don't know the math, right? If you don't do trigonometry often, you're likely to make a mistake. That's why you ask a friend to look at it. That's why I ask multiple people to look at it. That's why you put it out there and you listen to somebody who says, no, this is the wrong way. This is the right way. There's something you're going to miss. Almost all you're going to definitely, nobody's perfect and you're going to miss stuff. So that's how he does it. He explains it away. He says it should have been 22 and a half. And then he says, and he says it's closer to the 17 and a half than to the 22 and a half. So therefore flat still is a possibility. The best you can get from that, if it's an inconclusive experiment, taking if you assume that his math is right, it's inconclusive. You shouldn't say it's closer to 1, therefore it's okay. But anyway, David Dorinzo said, Jaren, smoke a cigarette and lie some more because everything you just said was big empty. I don't think he smokes cigarettes. I think he smokes something else. Right. Laguna Lawyer Loire. I apologize if I got that wrong. Says longtime lurker, first time caller. You're my favorite debater, MC Toon. I really like how calm and to the point you are, and happy to have a casual conversation on a ridiculous topic. Also, Titicaca. Well, thank you, Laguna. I appreciate that. David Dorinzo again says Jaren, globe means therefore Earth flat. Oh, globe mean. Yeah, globers are mean. And hey, I knew he'd be saying that. That's why I said don't be dicks, right? Zoomeray says I've seen the 24 hours of sun in Antarctica, and am I a liar? That goes to his video about the cropped thing that's from a documentary that people put forward as evidence that there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And the problem for Jaren is that, yes, that it is cut. It is clipped together. It starts in one point, it goes around, comes around to the other point, and it loops, and it goes back to where it was, right? But somewhere in there, I think I've identified it's when there's no clouds in there. That's where they cut it so that it can loop back to where it started. I don't know why they did it that way. It's for a documentary, not for a scientific, investigative, peer-reviewed experiment. It's just for the documentary. So these are not scientists that are making these movies, right? But that video is still impossible if the Earth is flat. It doesn't actually fix anything to say it was clipped. The problem is, in Antarctica, you could never look due south and see the sun on flat Earth, right? It's not possible. Right? Here it is, right? So you go somewhere, I think it was McMurdo Base, if I'm right, which is maybe, I'm guessing, right in here, right? So if the sun was ever due south, down here, right? That doesn't work on this. In fact, if the sun was up, it would not work during a huge portion of the day, because this here part is in darkness 24 hours a day. And the sun on this map would be here, much closer to the North Pole than to any part of here. So if you can see the sun, if it's daytime for 24 hours straight, ever in this area, this map doesn't work. No flat Earth map works. So that video, while it is clipped and it looped like that, still is not possible on flat Earth. So, Pat in the chat, what's a SpaghettiOs emoji? Yes, that's a good idea. Can somebody make one? Look up how the emojis have to be formed, structured on YouTube. So yeah, Zoomeray, it you would have to be. He has to declare that everybody that's been to Antarctica and seen the 24-hour sun. Sun Express says, did Jaren really not know why people poke fun at Flurfs parroting 666 nonsense? See, he was going for a tertiary thing. I said, gotta light a Flurf to people that say Earth is moving 666 or 66,600 miles an hour around the sun. That's a lie. And he was taking umbrage to that. Okay. But it's a lie still. Right? And I he calculated the speed. It's not 66,600 miles an hour. It's 66,659. And that was the average that he got, right? But of course it's a range. And the range is has that in the middle. So it's a lie. And they're using that lie to deceive people. Right? They're pretending, they're like, oh, that's satanic. That's what they're trying to say. But it's a deception. Who's the deceiver in their religion? The one that they're telling you, right? They're using that one's tactics. So the irony is delicious when somebody's trying to point out Satanism in the globe when they're using deceptive tactics, which is what Satan does. So, Brilliance says, Jaren, what is the total time in days of 1 year to 2 decimal points? I bet he knows that. 365.25, right? Sean Hawkins says, has Jaren ever driven a Volkswagen? 66.6, the decimal of the beast. Now, I don't know why that, where he got that from Volkswagen. Sean, I'm missing that one, but okay. Many Karen says, I subscribe to the Barry-centric model. Do I worship Barry? Am I a Barry sexual? Yes, because the, you know, look, Jaren makes it a point that he doesn't represent other people. Fair. But Jaren can't expect me to represent other people. So if somebody's mean to a flat earther and he is saying, can't hold me responsible for other people, then by the same token, you shouldn't come after anybody unless they specifically did it. And so he was talking about Reds and he's talking about other people. I'm like, dude, they're not here. I'm not them. So, let's see. Oh, I see. Okay. Sean Hawkins, NASA was created by the guy with a mustache. So was the Volkswagen. I got it. Nerd Alert says, imagine demonstrating Earth curvature with a magnitude predicted by the correct math and still denying it because of silly numerology. Interesting. So I want to go over the math with him. And this is the first step in that. Seriously, 6 months ago, I'm like, can I come on and go over the math with you? And he's like, I don't know. So this is, tonight was step one, hopefully, of an entire show dedicated just to that math and the prediction for the globe. So I need to get him, though, to remember and look up the numbers on how far away those things were from each other, so that the actual correct analysis can be done. Because he's saying that some of the stuff that I used was wrong. Fine, we can adjust that. So, Icy Spin says, Jaren, are there flat earth speakers at events you attend that you believe are faking their belief in flat earth? And if so, how do you handle that? Oh, that would have been a really good question. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save that for next time. I think that's a very good one. He has been to the convention. He was at the convention in 2019 in Dallas that I was at. And I think he was at some of the other FEIC conventions. So, all right, hold on. I gotta send a message. So, all right, I saved that from IC Spin. So I can't go much longer. I have to, got some family stuff I gotta do here. So we're going camping, leaving tomorrow. So, PC Tony says, all Jaren would need is some confirmed evidence that the spherical distance formula is significantly in error at some point. And yeah, that's a really good falsification of the globe. If the spherical distance formula is wrong, that would do it. David Dorinzo says, Jaren, you'll hate this, but even a firmament wouldn't preclude the globe. It could just be a Dyson sphere around Earth. You need to prove flatness. Now, he's not a religifler, so I don't know what his position on firmament is, actually. He probably doesn't care a whole lot. The religiflers are all about the firmament, but you've got people like Flat Earth Millionaire that are like, no, that's totally wrong. So, all right, I read the one from Magellan. Graybeard says, Jaren, for the record, I know that the Earth cannot possibly be flat. And the reason I know this has nothing to do with the evidence you think Globers use to believe that the Earth is a globe. And that's totally right. The Earth cannot be flat because the sun sets. I don't need anybody else to tell me this. There is no plausible mechanism, nothing to explain the sun being gone from our view. Nothing. Saying a bunch of words, Jaren and other flat earthers, is actually doing the thing that you say we're doing, right? You're just taking somebody else's word for it. Why would the sun appear to be lower than it is, drastically lower than it is, significantly, drastically, immensely lower than it is? There's nothing for that. You're just taking some vague concepts that somebody else said and you believed them without testing it. That's the no you put on us, but you took it. You did it. Not just all flat earthers. The sun setting is absolute death to flat earth. Every single day that the sun sets, 8 billion people experience that the earth could not be flat. That's a lot of falsifications. So LJ is apparently a flurf, says MC's tune, do you believe in Santa too? Flatter than a pancake. I do not believe in Santa. And it is in fact spherical. It's been measured. Just saying things is just saying things. It has no value. Peachy Tony says, can Jaren walk us through the mathematics of straight multiplicative factor applied to an x coordinate for any given function? No. Tony, you're funny. Of course not. Jaren probably can do a bit more math than a lot of flat earthers, but no. The Rocket Couch says, well, this is just a delightfully interesting conversation. Hashtag research weenie earth. All right, what is Stilvo Chivers? Aw, you had to go there, didn't you? Like you can't just stay on topic. You have to just run off to something else and use something else that's completely unrelated to think that it has some bearing on the shape of the earth. It just shows how incredibly dumb you are, Silvo Chivers, right? If you think that the earth is flat, get the evidence for it. You don't have that. So, Coffee Troll says Biodual is Jaren. I don't think so. All right. We've got PhD Tony again says we have billions of distance, position, and seismic and atmospheric observations completely incompatible with Earth being planar, regardless of any photos. Totally true. And the photos, they're like, show me a picture of the curve. They constantly demand photographs of the curve. Well, okay, well, here's some. And then somebody else comes along and says, you can't use that. Like, well, that group demanded it. So go tell them that photographs don't count, right? You guys got a clean house. Randomly Epic says, for once, I'd like something other than nonsensical excuses from a flurf when they're presented with evidence. Well, I'm going to press them on the ISS elevation, right? If it's wrong, you got to show where it's wrong. And Jaren and Astronomy Live did not use anybody else's data except for the angular size of the moon, which in the video they say, well, Astronomy Live measured it himself, but this particular one was not his. So, Magellan says, Jaren, you're incredibly thick. If you're familiar with his disagreement and his challenge between him and Jake the Jake Hole, he might appreciate that. So, Striker says, why do Flurf get to cherry pick image, but they're against others doing it? It's that dual standard. What they do, right? Lord Illuminous Pooh says, metric. Ew. I want my units based off of a king's unit. That's what a bunch of one king's loaf. That's what is one king's loaf. All right. The Sun Express says, would be nice if Jaren can explain the diagonal path of solar eclipses of August 14, 2013 and April 18, 2024. I have it right here. So this is a future $10,000 challenge. I need to get it out here pretty quick because that big eclipse is coming in April and October. But my mom bakes cakes says, math question for MC2. And if the equator moves at 1,000 miles an hour, what speed does the ice wall move at? Oh, you're mixing things because they don't say that the equator moves. So the equator doesn't move at 1,000 miles an hour on flat Earth. If it moves at 1,000 miles an hour on the globe, what speed does the ice wall move at? Well, the ice wall doesn't exist. So can't answer that question. But yes, if the flat Earth dirt pizza were rotating, then yeah. The ice wall would be, oh my gosh. What are you're messing with the paradigms there. Magellan says, MC Tune, as you know, geospatial data types are built into all the world's major database providers. They all work as if the Earth is spherical. Is it all a lie? Yeah, Jaren and other flat earthers, of course, must declare with no evidence that it is a lie. So yeah, and let me tell you, I don't like databases with those kinds of compound data types. Jeez, I don't use date time or date. I use milliseconds since 1970. That's how I roll. All right. That's it. Wow. It's been a bit crazy. What I think I will probably take the section that Jaren was on and put it up on my other channel just as a thing for people to watch there. Thank you, everybody. Next week I'll be on Tuesday, not on Thursday, because we're prepping for yes, we're leaving tomorrow for a camping trip for the weekend. We're back Sunday, and we're leaving next Friday, a week from tomorrow, for a longer trip. It's what we do. Going on a couple trips. Let's see here. So is Biodual in the chat here, like rejecting something? Keith M. Google search physics professor at UTSA as a soft threat. I give you a bit of random. What do you expect? I don't know. Somebody's. Are you? I mean, I know Biodual. He's on Discord. He's not a flurf. Unless this is a fake Biodual or I'm misremembering Biodual. Anyway. Final one. Many Karen says, people smash the like button. Temple of Goon. Temple of Goon. What's that? All right. Well, let's see. I need to prep this. I didn't prep my outro. There we go. There it is. Prepping it. All right, people. Thank you very much for coming along for the ride. Thank you to Jaren for having a decent conversation. I look forward to the next one. People, I hope that you enjoyed that kind of an interaction. I think it was a good one. We'll still have the dumpster fires because the dumb flurfs are going to still do it. But seriously, flurfs, if you can't stay on topic, it's just you admitting that you have nothing. Let me say that one more time there, Jurgo Numens. If you have to go to a different topic, it is you admitting that you have nothing. So with that, people, I'll see you next time.